Hello, and how goes it? Andrew, DM for the Dirty Rollers. Today we have got DM Eric with me, and you'll be able to hear him in just a second as I switch ye old Discord stuff around here. And hopefully in the future I have this better set up so that everything is ready to go off the rip. I'm doing things on the fly. Uh, there we go. You should be able to be heard now, I think, hopefully.
Only if I speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, welcome in, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for agreeing to come on.
Of course. Of course.
So, chat, can you hear everybody? Everything's loud and clear? Don't want to get started and not be able to hear everybody.
That'd be awesome, right? Just get like 2 hours in and no one's like, hey, can't hear jack squat.
Yep, wouldn't be the first time here.
You gotta
Is see, turn Eric up a little
guessing
bit.
that's it, yeah. All right, we got sounds good.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, here with GM Eric. He is a paid GM, and whoops, I have something covering your face there. There we go. Paid GM, but I'm gonna let him tell us a little bit about himself. So go ahead and introduce us to you, Eric, and tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into questions.
Sure. My name's GM Eric. I'm a full-time professional GM. This is my employment. What I do is I literally run TTRPGs for people, and it's my full-time job. I currently run 8 to 10 games a week on a regular basis. My 8 are static and streamed up on Twitch. I do private events on top of that, including bachelor parties, weddings, birthdays. I haven't done a bar mitzvah yet, but it's on the list of things I'd like to check mark. Um, and I think I just disappeared off the screen there.
Oh,
Yeah, Eric's vid went dark. It's not my fault. Yeah. But yeah, I run a whole bunch of events for people. I do in person, I do online, mostly online, but I do in-person games as well. I've been doing this full-time professionally now for approaching 6 years as my primary employment with no other side gigs or anything. I absolutely love it. It's a delight, and I am privileged to have some of the most amazing players in my groups. I'm currently running a wait list, so if you're interested in playing one of my games, you need to send me a message and get on the wait list, and sometimes the wait list lasts for months at a time because people don't leave my groups very often. So I'm very, very privileged to have an amazing community, both on Twitch and Discord and in my games. It's phenomenal. We do Patreon, we do GM tips. I did 400 GM tips over on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff,
nice.
where we did an entire series of how to be a better GM, including voices and behaviors and tips about encounters, etc. We now do clips and clip contests where people take timestamps of certain sessions and we put it up there and we do a drawing every month for the clips. And we give away some cool merch every single month as a result of those clips and timestamps in order to drive engagement with what we're doing and do a shared universe.
Excellent. And where can everybody find you at? Like, if someone was interested in
Sure,
going to apply to your game or want to go check
of
out all your
course.
stuff.
You can find me over at gmeric.com. That's the primary website. If you just search for GMeric, you'll find us. It's usually the first link up there. It's gmeric.com. You can find us over on YouTube at youtube.com/ at the Game Master Eric. You can find us over on TikTok, same link. We've got all sorts of stuff all over the place. We do all sorts of things at GME. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. And yeah, we've got new people in here. See some of your people, Eric. If you don't know, this is Cartalkraphers, the show I haven't done. I didn't do it all of 24 or 25. I did 3 episodes of it in 2023, and I'm trying to get back to it this year. Gonna try to do these once a month. And Eric was just the first one for this year. So what I do is I know a lot of super creative people, and I try to have some of these friends on. I try to focus on people that are involved in the TTRPG space. In the past, I've had David North Illustrations on. He's an artist. He's
He's really
currently
cool.
he's awesome. He's working on Troll Lord games on top of doing his own stuff. I've had Scott Fitzgerald Gray on. He's an editor on D&D books. He's worked on 50 some books. I'm sure it's more than that now. I've had Celeste Bloodrain on. She does 3ddice.com. We had a lot of really cool people on so far. I'm trying to do these once a month now. So just have people come on, tell us about what they do, um, kind of give us a little view into how they do things and what they've got going on, and hopefully we get some more good friendos in the future. And if you are creative and you want to come on and do one of these sometime, let me know. Just reach out, send me a message, and it's called Cartographers, play on words, because I do a little cartography on the side while we're talking. So Eric has given me a map idea here. We're going to go with it. If you see anything while we're talking, you want something changed, Eric, just let me know. This is the basic
Sure.
starting shape. Um, and
Let's widen up the left passage by about 2 squares,
excellent.
both directions.
Do this like this.
I don't necessarily need the bidding for the key all that much,
Okay, cool.
but yeah.
Yeah, well, that there.
Yeah,
And
something like that.
yeah, while we're doing this, you can feel free to give me any critiques or anything that you want while we're going.
Sure.
Chat, we're gonna open it up to questions too. I have a list of questions on my own, um, and you are free to throw in a question. Just try to put a question and then put it like this, and let's see, just so it's easier for us to pick up, and we'll try to keep track of them. We'll try to ask them in the order they come in on, and I'm just gonna start with a just a fun one, just a little layup. Eric, what's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur is everyone's favorite dinosaur, the Ankylosaurus.
Yes, that is my favorite dinosaur. Thank you. We like that. Um,
It's the correct answer. There is no other answer to that. I know that some people say Diplodocus, but they're wrong.
I also like that you just said it like that. I have a friend that swore up and down that it was Diplodocus, and we had a very heated argument about that. Um, so far, he's the only one that I've heard pronounce it like that.
Right?
All right, first user question is Hollowed. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping in. How many different games are you currently running?
Currently, I'm running 8 streamed campaigns. I also run a campaign that's a monthly game, that's a private game, and that happens on Sunday evenings once a month. And I do that for the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. The other 8 games I run are all streamed live on Twitch. I stay very, very busy. I also do the one shots on the side, including Learn to Plays and the special events.
Mhm. Quetzalcoatlus is the superior dinosaur.
You're wrong.
Fighting words. Um, Alina. Hopefully you said that right. What inspired you to start up GM Eric's Gaming Experience as a business and become an entrepreneur yourself?
What got me started doing this full time was I was actually working at the number one tabletop store in North America at the time, called Night Watch Games here in San Antonio, Texas.
Nice.
I was their night manager, spelled with a K, and I opened and closed for them. It was a fun job, really cool store. If you ever get an opportunity to visit them, they're really, really neat. I do encourage you guys to visit them. They got a new restaurant there, even in the game shop. It's
Sweet.
all themed, sold plate armor and everything. But COVID hit.
Mm.
And when COVID hit, one of the services that they were providing was once a week on Sundays, they offered a professional GM who'd come in just for one session a week and would run a little 3 hour game. It was like $10, and we were always booked for this one guy. Really cool guy, handled everything, looked like a GM, had the white beard, great. And COVID hit. They had to shut down the game store for 3 months. And because of that, wasn't getting any income. What am I good at and can't leave the house for? So I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and try GMing. I had a couple friends who were like, hey, look, we'll pay you to do the GMing thing. Here's $100 to get the pro subscription over on Roll20. Just run a game for us. And I put up a listing on Roll20. Hey, I'm going to run a little one shot, just a little cave exploration, a little dungeon crawl thing. And the two of them, husband and wife, and one other person joined for that one shot. That was it. It was three people. I got $30 for the thing. Did 4 hour session. They had a good time, and they asked for me to do it the next week. Well, one thing leads to another. After another week, I'm running 3 one shots a week. And then one of the groups is like, hey, look, we have been playing together now for 3 weeks. We want to try doing a campaign. Would you be open to it? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to have a regular group that I don't have to go and recruit people for every single week. Let's do a campaign. And one thing leads to another. And now almost 6 years later, coming here at the end of March, it'll be 6 years. I have reliable groups that are on every single week running weekly campaigns.
Yeah, man. I've watched a lot of your stuff, and even though I'm not active, I'm still right there. Got you streamed for most of the campaigns, not all of them, but most of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are extraordinarily consistent. So that is
We
always
do our best. I'm big into numbers and analytics for what we do. As an entrepreneur, you got to be in order to track what you're doing and make sure what you're doing is the right thing for the business as a whole. And so we track numbers on everything. And currently, I have a 99.98 attendance rate, 99.98 percentage attendance rate for sessions that are scheduled.
oh yeah.
The only 2 sessions that I've missed were when I had a heart attack live on stream during a session and was hospitalized for the 2 sessions following that.
That's I mean about as good as reason as you're ever gonna have for missing a session.
Right? So I had the heart attack on Sunday afternoon during the session, about 2.5 hours in. We have the video over on YouTube if you want to check that out.
Showing it off.
And oh, it like we did a YouTube short on it as well. It's like a minute and a half short on the kind of heart attack I had, which is called a Widowmaker heart attack. It's the left anterior descending artery,
Mhm.
and it basically flattened instead of being blocked. It literally flattened due to an old injury that I had. It flattened and caused me a heart attack. My blood pressure was like at 240 over 190. It was ridiculous. But went to the hospital. They got me all fixed up. Appreciate the doctors. But that was a Sunday afternoon. They kept me in the hospital on Monday and Tuesday. I was back at home and in session on Wednesday.
Beast, man.
So we try to make sure that you're going to have your session when you're with GME. Other than that, that's the only 2 sessions I've missed in 6 years.
I think people would have forgiven you for not having that session.
They did. I love my players, and we communicated with them. We're like, "Hey, look, Eric's in the hospital. I got a great support group around me." And my wife's like, "Hey, Eric's in the hospital. He had a heart attack. We're not doing session tomorrow." And so we skipped those 2 sessions, but came back and we gave everybody refunds, obviously, and
Yeah.
just handled that and moved forward.
Con save
And
passed.
oh yeah, con save pass for sure.
Yeah.
Um, we take care of ourselves now. I have been exercising. I recently got a VR headset to help me exercise more and lose some weight. But yeah, it's been a big adventure.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah, me too.
That is
Me too.
like I said, would have been a great reason to miss a campaign, but you said nah, I'm getting this.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
One of the things that they tell you when you go and have a heart attack, because you need to get back in the groove of things quickly for your psychology.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you will languish and become more sedentary than you were. So what they want you to do is they want you to get back to being actively doing what you're normally doing so that your brain gets past the heart attack and gets back into the groove.
Okay. I can
So
see
they're like,
that.
yeah, you need to get back to work as quickly as possible so that you don't mentally fatigue.
Don't want to get you like set in like a pity state or something, or being overly
Right.
worried about what you're doing.
Exactly. Or concerned of, am I going to have another one? You know?
Yeah.
No, I got a big wire tube in my heart now that holds the vein open or artery open.
You good now, right?
Thank you, Tampon Mel.
Yeah. See there. Told you she's got an awesome name. Um,
Uh,
but yeah. Let's see. Outside of that, we're gonna start with like kind of. You went a little bit into like how you got into it and stuff, but
yeah,
I went and visited your site and had a few more questions.
sure. Hit me
So
up.
the first one's like you mentioned LARPing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Tell us a little bit about the LARPing before we get into like the deep dive for D&D
Oh,
stuff.
dude. I have been a role player my entire life. Gamer, role player my entire life. My parents, when they got married, their wedding present was an Atari 2600, and they got it from my grandparents, who gave it to them, who were working at Atari. So I've been a gamer my entire life. My chew toy was an Atari joystick. That like they got the broken one and stuck in my mouth, and that's what I chewed on was that handle. Um, back when joysticks had rubber handles,
Yeah.
right? So, been a gamer my entire life, role playing, imagination, telling stories, big things that we used to do growing up. And so we got into a whole bunch of the costuming. My grandmother was a professional seamstress. She did costumes for all sorts of things growing up. But the one thing that she did professionally was she was doing cheerleader outfits for NBA, NFL, the Olympics.
Crap.
She did stuff for the Chinese teams, for the gymnasts. She did the uh, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. She did the Bengals, the Laker girls, the Silver Dancers here in San Antonio, all over. And so she taught us how to sew and create our own costumes. And so I know how to do lycra. I know how to do leather, all that stuff. We learned how to craft with our hands. And my mother was very insistent that she wasn't going to have kids who couldn't sew buttons because she was a youth counselor at our church, and she's got these kids who are coming over and being like, "Hey, I live alone. I moved out. I'm at college, and I don't know how to put a button on my shirt." And so she was having to do this for these kids. And she's like, "My kids aren't going to be this way." So she taught us how to sew and be handyman. We know how to do plumbing and all this stuff. But learning to LARP was part of that. Was, hey, look, if you want to have a costume, you want to dress up as something, we encourage it. So we
Awesome.
got into LARPing, and in my teens and 20s, I got into paintball, pretty hardcore, and I joined a paintball LARP team called RPM. It stood for Rabid Paintball Monsters.
Okay.
We
So
were
we have to
right?
take a little side thing here, real quick.
Sure.
Paintball LARPing.
Oh yeah, paintball LARP. So imagine LARPing
Hmm.
in costumes, but you're doing it with quests and missions, but you're carrying a paintball marker. And you go out and you have this event. And it ranges from, a short one is like 8 hours. The ones I really enjoyed doing were the 48-hour ones where you would start at noon on a Friday and end at noon on Sunday.
Ooh,
Straight through the night, with forward-looking infrared radar, with thermal goggles, the whole thing
dark vision.
at night. Oh yeah, dark vision, all the stuff, flares, glow sticks, flashlights, doing quests in the middle of the night, doing fun stuff like that. And we were really, really active with that. Our LARP team, the Rapid Paintball Monsters, we had at one point 120 people on our team, just our group of LARPers. And we would show up and we would do research on like what the officials were going to be wearing so that we would know who the officials were at an event. And then we would go buy the same outfit and we would impersonate the officials and get people to turn in quests to us when we weren't officials, and we would take the completed quests and turn them into the officials and get all the credit for them.
Devious.
Oh yeah, like we were the rogues, we were the chaos gremlins. We loved doing it. Um, I've LARPed with William Shatner as part of the Splat Attack back in 2002, I think it was, 2003, something like that. I'm on a DVD LARPing with him. I got to share an RV with him and his wife and his daughter for an entire weekend up in Joliet, Illinois. We were part of the Federation. It was a 3-team LARP up there. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, I've done all sorts of things. We do cosplay as a family. We've done all sorts of crazy cosplays over the years. We've done big fiberglass robots. We've done um, Fell Soul Inquisitors. We've done dryads and dragons. We do all sorts of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Dryads and dragons.
So, oh yeah, dragons, dryads. Um, trying to think of what else recently we've done. We've been on a bit of a hiatus because we've been trying to take care of some finances stuff,
Mhm.
but we've got some cosplay plans coming up, which super excited for.
Excellent. So yeah, you knocked out a couple other questions with the costuming and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And we did a big costume called Cyberak from Heroes of the Storm, and we actually got signed. We got the costume signed by the 3D modeler who made the skin, and from the voice actor who was voice acting it, and that was Darren DePaul, who also voices Reinhardt from Overwatch.
Nice. Hammer down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another quick question pop up.
Sure.
What are the beverages for tonight and what's for dinner? Just water. I'm boring right now.
I am drinking HEB's sweetened lime sparkling water. It has 0 calories and is my normal beverage of choice. I usually drink it with 4 whiskey rocks, which are just big ice cubes that don't melt easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I drink them inside of this massive Brad mug from my campaigns. We sell these on the website. Shameless plug. Go
There you
check
go.
these out. These will hold ice for about 24 hours. They're awesome.
Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told you you're free to
I'm going to take my opportunities,
do
guys.
it. Do it. But yeah. Yeah, I'm
There were
boring.
a
Just
few other questions up there in the chat.
yeah, let's see. What else did we grab?
Tons of questions. We got a ton of people in here. Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening.
And thank you for hanging out. Who's your
Ugh.
Oh crap, yeah, we do have a bunch I missed. Or a handful at least. Who's your favorite player character? I feel like that's a loaded
My
question.
favorite player character? I'm going to answer my favorite player character of my own.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do that. That's a trap.
That's a loaded question right there. So,
right?
is Blueinator one of your one of your players?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I figured.
Yeah. He plays Brick on my Friday morning game, the Tovoan Sea Dogs. And his character recently lost an arm.
Okay.
And he's playing a one-armed goblin.
Hey, we like goblins around here.
Right? It's a lot of fun. My favorite player character that I played or have played in the past is currently the leader of the Longstriders Consortium. His name is Zutono Shirez. He's a big multi-class character that originally started in 3.5 D&D,
Okay.
but he has developed beyond classes and has kind of retired from adventuring, but kind of kept the same toolkit from that edition, which are abilities that don't fit in 5e anymore. So he usually is sitting in an office and is an information broker.
Nice.
He does keep 2 dire weasels in his office in case anyone ever tried to attack him. For those who don't know what dire weasels do,
Nice.
in 3.5, they have constitution drain, and you cannot remove them. So once they attack you and bite you, it's 1d6 constitution every single round that goes away.
we like 2 things here a lot on this channel, Eric. It's goblins.
Yeah.
And mustelids, ferrets, weasels,
Mhm.
badgers, the whole 9 yards there. So yeah,
Sure.
come in talking goblins and weasels, and we're all on board here. All right.
Yep.
Before I get too far into tossing stuff on this map, what kind of decor are we going? Is
No,
scaffold?
you're rocking it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Cool.
We may include some crystals and some mining in here. We want a lot of varied light sources on the walls.
Excellent. All right.
So we want to have illumination be a major key to this map.
Yep. Let's get some
Shadows and lights are going to be important.
So are the crystals what's putting off the light, or we got torches and stuff in here?
I think the crystals are going to be the primary light source, but we do need to have torches for contrast and color. Because if we're running purples, blues, and reds, I want to have that orange and the brightness of the yellows of the torch to contrast with that and to mix up the visual interest of the map.
Gotcha. We can do that easy. All right. Let's see. One of the question is your favorite moment from them. Yeah, sounds like you know that
Oh,
too.
from my favorite moment of Zutono Shrez was honestly one of the introductions of Zutono's history, where he was meeting the party member that was interested in meeting him as a character. And Zutona has this innate ability that came from a certain subclass in 3.5 where he can hear the soundtrack of nature around him. And it's almost a precognition, but for everyone except for himself. So he has the ability to predict what the roles are going to be and get advantage and bonuses towards knowing what's coming. Well, in that scene, he's running through the forest, being observed by the party member who's meeting him for the first time. He's running through the forest, and a squirrel is leaping from one branch to the next, and he catches the squirrel instead of the squirrel dying. He puts the squirrel on the ground, and it goes running off and gets eaten by a wolf. And the party member's like, why'd you save the squirrel if it was just going to die? Well, it wasn't supposed to fall. It was supposed to be eaten. And they're like, what the hell? And so that his whole energy is he's trying to fulfill what is supposed to happen. The problem is he can't tell his own future, so he tries to stick his nose in everyone else's business. He's gotten better about that over the years, but he originally was always trying to fix other people's problems or what he perceived as problems, and it always got him into trouble because he stuck his nose where it didn't belong.
Okay, like it. Um, favorite player moment in a campaign, like one of your players.
All my players.
I had that one lined up too. So that one, somebody's getting ahead of me
Oh,
and
trying to
stealing my
think
question.
of. I think I'm gonna go to a campaign that isn't currently active with a player who's not currently active, just to remain as neutral as possible.
Yeah.
Because I've got amazing players in all my games, and all my current players are absolutely awesome. I love my current players. So to be fair to all of them, I'm not going to mention any of the moments that they have had that are amazing. I'm going to go to a moment that is separate from a player who is distant, but during the BBEG fight of that campaign, they were fighting against a powerful
Oh,
necromancer
hang on one
who was
second.
undead. Yep.
Let's let the ads go so they don't miss their question.
Sure. You know, they could bypass the ads if they got a subscription.
Oh damn, Spencer, a salesman. I like this. She's even peddling for me now too. I like it.
I can do it, guys.
Got it.
We're waiting for the ads to come through.
Yeah, we're waiting. The 40 seconds. It should be done.
All good. All good. This is looking pretty cool.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is that they're mining light and mining sources of light.
Excellent. So we'll go check on these crystals over here. I'm probably these guys
All
are
right,
gonna
back
go.
from ad jail.
Everybody's back.
Yeah,
Nope, Blue's not.
not yet. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're waiting, Squall.
Boom, 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 boom. I got so many of my players in here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys are here supporting this guy. It's pretty neat. And what he's doing, I normally do on my end. So this is all stuff that we do here at GME as well. So have fun with it.
do some of these. Ismod, yeah. Alina's the one that usually welcomes everybody in. So thanks for coming
Yep.
and hanging out.
Yep. She's one of my employees. I've got 2 employees or 3 employees officially. She's my moderator. I have a creative director, and I have my logistics director as well.
Nice. All right, you can get back to your question. I think everybody's back
Sure.
now.
Awesome. Cool. So the player moment is from a campaign that we had called Oh Gods Why. And during the final encounter, we actually spawned a Tarask during the fight, right?
Whoops.
And he was playing a wild magic sorcerer, and I use a D10,000 table for my wild magic because it's more fun that way, other than
10,000.
just the. Oh yeah, it's a D10,000 table. It's amazing, and it's not my own. I can't claim that as my own. I'd love to, but it's not mine. But we use a D10,000 table, and he casts a spell from inside the mouth of the Tarask as he's about to be swallowed. The wild magic surge fires off, and it petrifies the Tarask.
That just happened to roll that on
The
the D1000 or
on the
10,000.
D10,000, the only one that's going to petrify the Tarask, the entire Tarask turns to stone. And they're like, well, we win. Let's go fight the Necromancer. And this is the Necromancer's, ace in the hole thing.
Yeah.
Turns out the Tarask is also the phylactery for the Necromancer. So the Tarask is now stone, the phylactery stone, and they shattered the Tarask. And
Nice.
then they easily wipe up the Necromancer because they can't do anything about it. It was a cool moment just to get this wild magic surge to fire off and get super lucky. It was neat. And that was a character by the name of Silas. We have a spell now in my campaign setting called Silas's Hinder Fate, which is a chronomancy spell, and it's based off of that character.
Yeah, that's just the whole dice tell a story thing, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorite things is dice tell a story when we do what we're doing.
Yep.
I can have all the plans I want as a GM. The players can have all the plans they want. We might agree on the plans, and then the dice come in and just totally wreck house.
Say nope. Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing too, players, if you get frustrated by rolling bad, make those bad rolls into a story moment. Like that's
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Embrace it.
all right. Are you fine with an onion being hidden on your map? Because
Sure.
that's a general Mel thing on all of this. So see if your players notice a little tiny onion in the wheelbarrow.
Okay.
That's
We'll
that.
put a tiny onion in the wheelbarrow.
Yep. Uh, and we'll answer her thing too. I think this kind of answers the most fun twist in a campaign. I think you kind of just answer that because accidentally summoning a Tarask and then also accidentally petrifying it.
Well, the summoning it wasn't an accident. The craziest twist I've done ever was I had a player character who ended up being the father of one of the other player characters. That was a big one, kind of Darth Vaderish. But the coolest one, I ran a campaign before doing this professionally. I ran a 7-year campaign back up in Omaha back in the early 2000s where we did a 7-year campaign and we had two player characters survive from the start all the way to the end. And at the end of the last session, in the epilogue, where everyone's like, all right, here's everything about my character, the character reveals, oh yeah, I've been evil the entire campaign. I'm actually a lich. I completed the ritual by doing all these things, and you guys helped me. I didn't tell you. And like that player played that character so well. Everyone thought she was like this super good cleric, super nice, and everything had been done in passing of notes over 7 years in order to get to that point. And now that character is a major NPC in my world because I got permission to use her, and she's really cool.
That's awesome. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Were there any like almost slipped up moments in there?
Yeah, there were a couple, but like they went to hell and everything. And the one moment that almost slipped was that Asmodeus in hell recognized the female character, and they're like the players glossed over it and didn't pick up on it,
Whoops.
and trying to support the evil character in their RP, I didn't bring attention to it. I'm
Nice.
like, Asmodeus says hi and says the character's name, and none of the other players picked up on it. And that was the only hint I was going to give. And yeah, it was
Oh
really
hey, we
cool
haven't seen
to
you
see.
since last year's Christmas party.
Yep,
That's awesome.
pretty much. Yeah, it was really cool. But her turning out evil and revealing all the evil things she had done during the campaign, including killing innocent characters that they thought had retired or had just gone missing. She had been like consuming their souls. She was actively working against the party the entire campaign. It was pretty devious.
So played it perfectly then if nobody else picked up on it.
Smart evil is so hard to do.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, so we'll get. I'm just kind of asking the chat ones so we don't
Sure.
overlook them or anything, but
Of
we'll get to
course.
my list until we get some more. I think you answered this earlier on, but just in case, how long have you been playing TTRPGs?
Official tabletop RPGs as a system. I have been playing since Redbox when I was 8 years old. I'm 48 years old now, so I have been playing TTRPGs officially for 40 years.
Nice.
And I've played everything from D&D to Star Wars to Dune to Doctor Who. I've done Star Trek. If it's out there, I've probably tried it. Did Pathfinder, Starfinder, gosh, all sorts of stuff. I've done more systems than I can remember.
Awesome. Um, yeah, that's a good long
I've
time.
done. I I have opened the Warhammer book. I have created a Warhammer character and never played a single round of Warhammer, either RPG or the tabletop game. Period. Ever, in spite of having 3 Warhammer armies.
All right, what are your armies? Good little segue
I
over there.
have Space Marines, Orcs, and then I have a High Elf army as well.
Nice.
And all of those came from when I worked at that game shop. Remember,
Yeah.
they had community days, and there were people who were being forced out of the hobby, and they're like, "I can't take this home, or I'm going to get in trouble with my wife. Can I leave it here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not painted or anything, so it's not worth anything, and it's super old. And it's not legal anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a ton of elf minis. I'll take them."
Yeah.
So I have a good 60 elves for TTRPGs that are just Warhammer elves.
Nice. So yeah, you got minis for days.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, so you said you haven't run or played Warhammer, which
Right.
makes you wonder. And I
I'm familiar with the lore though.
kind of know the answer to this next one too, based on
Sure.
your work history here. Prefer running or
Mhm.
playing games? TTRPG specifically.
Uh I much prefer running games. I do like the occasional playing, but what ends up happening when I play TTRPGs is that I start analyzing, oh, this is a cool thing that this guy's doing. I should do that in my next game.
Hmm.
And so I end up going into work mode, and being a full-time GM has kind of ruined me as a player because I have to be very aware that I could easily take over a session from everybody else, and I don't want to do that as a player. So it squashes some of my fun as a player because I will dominate a session just because I understand what I can do through roleplay and how to be an engaging character. So I don't want to ruin other people's fun, so it limits my own.
Right. Does it help in that scenario playing a system that you're not super familiar with or like something
No,
newer?
the system doesn't matter. You could run me on a coin flip system. I'm just going to role play through it. Role play, if role playing is allowed in the system, I'm going to have fun in the system. Like
Right.
that's all there is to it. It does not matter what the system is. You could do Doctor Who, all D&D, Pathfinder, whatever it is. It all comes down to cooperative storytelling and embracing flaws of your character, making those flaws count and be cool story moments is how you enhance the story. Enhancing other people through combo wombos. Like,
Hmm.
I love being like, hey, look, this person is going to be the super sexy person. The way you do this is my character opens the car door for you. I bowed regally. I sweep my cloak out of the way to reveal this character. Please describe your character. And then all of a sudden that enhances that other character. I like playing that story support character because very few people do that nowadays. Like
Hmm.
it used to be more of a thing, and there are people who are good at it still. They exist. But the people who enhance other people's RP, those characters begin to shine. I like playing the quiet guy who is making everyone cooler and just does this little tiny thing to manipulate the whole situation to be more neat. That's kind of what I like.
Okay, need more of those. That's some purples, blues. Yeah. You were after reds and yellows.
Reds, yellows, purples, and blues.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Trying to avoid greens. Yeah, trying to avoid greens and teals.
Yeah, we can get some other colors in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that with a little light splashing over on the side there. Let's see. Have you ever had a player that was horrible and had to force them out? Did you blacklist them or ban them from your games? I think this is
Yes.
every
Yeah.
DM.
Yes, and um, I have had a few players that I have had as a professional GM I've had to ask to never come back ever again, and I have banned them from my systems. I have two rules as a professional GM that I require everyone abide by, and at the start of every session, I have a rules screen on every session. And rule number one is have fun. If you're not having fun, why are you here? Why are you paying to not have fun? It makes no sense, right? Actively be here to have fun. That's rule number one. Rule number two is don't prevent others from having fun. Don't be here to troll and screw people over. If you're here to mess other people's fun up and ruin their day, we don't want you here. We're here to have a good time and play D&D. We don't talk about real life politics. We're here to play D&D. We don't talk about real life religion. We're here to play D&D. We'll talk about some nerd culture and make some jokes and some references here and there, but the idea is focused on the TTRPG experience as opposed to real life stuff. We don't want to talk about your job unless it's a joke about things in order to lighten things up. It's not about your real life stuff. We're here to have fun and immerse yourself and distract you from your real life. That's what we shoot for.
Nice.
When we've had these problem players, we've had people quit in the middle of a session. And when you quit in the middle of the session, you're actively breaking rule number one and rule number two. You're not going to be invited back. And when you do that, it ruins the fun for everybody and just not welcome back. We have had someone who thought that I was their personal therapist and started contacting me every 15, 20 minutes throughout the day and night. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed psychologist or psychiatrist. I can't help you. I am a storyteller. I'm here to entertain you, but I'm not here to help you talk about your girlfriends and your life in general to help you get through things like that.
Yep.
Will I? I'll do some of it. Sure, of course. A good GM does. But you don't go to the movies to have someone analyze your life. You don't go to putt-putt golf to go and, you know, have your budget analyzed.
No.
You go to have fun and be entertained. And I'm an entertainer. That's what I do.
I go to like
And
hole
so
in
we
one.
have had for this.
I need
Right.
line item 39. How's that one looking for me?
Right. I'm not going to do your taxes for you. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I'm not going to help you get through the court system. I've had that one before. Um, so when you have those moments, you have to realize, hey, look, I'm an entertainer. I'm here to do business and entertain you. I'm going to have to fire you as a customer. Goodbye. And you just fire him as a customer. And I've been so fortunate to have people who are waitlisted for my games that usually backfilling those takes about 30, 40 seconds.
Right.
So it doesn't take long once we get into the wait list to get people to fill those spots. And, you know, the games are better because I've removed the toxic people, and the players who remain realize I care about their fun. And
Yeah.
by removing these negative influences, they're going to have more fun. And I'm willing to do that. Even if it costs me money, I'm willing to do that in order to ensure the quality of the service.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
building loyalty by gaining trust.
Yeah. It's loyalty through trust and quality. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Um,
And sometimes you just got to do it. It hurts, but you got to do it.
see, generalist question up there. How do you mentally prepare or
Yeah.
hype yourself as a DM before a game? Music, meditate, read, eat cheese.
First off, I love cheese. Like, cheese is my jam. Uh, I don't usually eat cheese before a session. But if I am going to eat cheese, I really like a smoked Gouda or a brie with Ritz crackers. We'll put that on the cheese question. Cool. Um, but for preparing for a session, other than the actual lore prep, map prep, the setting images that I do, the character art, the writing, and all that stuff, the actual prep is done. Ramping up to start the session, I start at 20 minutes before the session. I go use the bathroom. I turn on all the lights using my remote app on my phone. I set the audio on the phone to be muted so that I don't get phone calls or notifications during the session. You can't call me and get a hold of me during the session. I'm focused on my players. I usually throw on Unleash the Archer's Awakening as my hype
Nice.
music. If you're not familiar with that, it's a great one.
Fantastic band.
Um, right, they're an amazing band. Brittany Slays is awesome. I usually put that on as hype music to listen to, and I use the bathroom. I have that on my phone while I'm using the bathroom. I use gel in my hair. I brush my hair. I come in here. I sit down. I load up Twitch. I load up my Sirenscape soundboard. I've got all the macros and everything set up across the 4 screens that I use. And we put everything up, load up, and go. I've usually got everything running 10 minutes before the session starts, and any last second things that have to be done, I take care of in those 10 minutes. It may be, oh, look, someone changed a feat in their character sheet and I need to update their token. Whatever that minor thing is, we'll take care of it. If it's a major thing, it's going to wait till the next session. But the idea is, unleash the archers and kind of chill out as much as possible. I am very quiet. I don't speak during those 20 minutes before session because I run 3-hour sessions with a opportunity to extend to 4 hours to find a nice ending point. And there are days where my players may not be very vocal about their session. So I end up talking for 3 hours. And I am a massive introvert. And so talking for 3 hours drains me. And then I have groups that are like my Wednesday night group just this past week. They talked for 2 hours and I didn't say a thing.
Didn't you love those
And
sessions? You just get to sit back and just listen.
listen, my perspective on it is as a GM, I'm doing a good job if we have set up a situation where I don't have to present any more content to the players. They're simply exploring the content that has been presented to them, and they simply ask a question when they need my input. So they go and they do their session using all the content I built. It's built well enough to where they can explore it within their own interpersonal RP. By setting up this structure for them to explore, you enhance that RP because it's not about me, it's about them, and providing them the best story possible is what we shoot for.
Nice. All that. So yeah, getting through man, a bunch of these. Plus, we're getting a bunch more.
Sure.
Langford, thanks for stopping in, man. If you have any questions you want to ask Eric, feel free. Just put a question in all caps and then ask your question, just so he can see it easier. Um, So you've got 40 years of TTRPG experience, Eric. You've said you played a bunch of systems.
40.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you had your choice, what system are you playing?
Am I playing,
Yep.
or
What's your
would I
preferred
recommend for a
system?
group?
No, your personal preferred system. If you could play something or run a game, and this is also assuming that you have a table full of people that are all up on the system.
If I have an entire table that is familiar with the system and familiar with the lore and familiar with the the setting as a whole, there's a game from the early 2000s called Legend of the Five Rings. I'm not
Yep.
sure if you're familiar with that.
Yep. I know
It
Legend of the
was
Five
a
Rings.
trading card game. L5R was a trading card game that was phenomenal. Great game, but the turn length was ridiculously long. The games were long. They did a TTRPG based off of the books that were created for that game. And if I were to run a game, I would love to play one in Rokugan, which is the setting for L5R. It is a feudal Japan fantasy realm where they have blood speakers, which are basically blood mages. They have unicorns and naga that can impersonate humans. They have Nezumi, which are rat people that use name magic to modify reality. It's a really cool, deep system, and I really enjoyed that setting a lot. I brought some of those things into my current campaign setting, which is Toivoa. You
Yep.
can find out more at toivoarpg.com. Um, but we bring a lot of that stuff in order to embrace that and build on it. Unfortunately, L5R has pretty much died as a system and as an IP, and so that entire thing's gone. And instead of trying to reminisce to the past of what could have been, I now bring that flavor and stuff into sections of my campaign setting and refine it because there were problems with it, but we do some really cool things in Toivoa about it.
Nice. Mhm.
Did you
Having
ever
so
play
much.
L5R?
I have not. I know the system. I know the card game, especially, but not. I haven't actually played it. Having so much trouble grabbing the crystal. Yes, that is. I love this program. Trying to grab a
Mm-hmm.
small object when there's a bigger object in the area. So this is the bounding box, the
Yep.
selection box for this rock.
Yep.
You can see why it
Mm-hmm.
causes problems. Um,
Yep.
Eric, if you
That's
ever
coming in the next patch.
a lock button.
Like, there's a lock button coming in the next patch, and they're talking fun with objects, which is supposed to allow you to do drag select for objects.
Nice. Um, if you ever hear me harassing Mac about the
Oh
lock
yeah,
button, it's an ongoing thing. I think since the first patch, I've been asking. I try to keep it lighthearted. I'm not being mean, but that
it's
scenario,
coming eventually.
that
It's coming
exact scenario
eventually.
is exactly why I beg for it. Because I want to lock this rock so I don't accidentally
Yep.
select it anymore. It happens a lot.
Yeah. Same. Yep. Absolutely. My worst is I like using the thin candle for a thin flickering flame, right?
Right there.
And in order to get just that little candle, you get that candle so just the flames peeking out to flicker, you can never select it ever again because you can't click on the wick.
No, it's gone now. It lives there.
Right.
Yep.
So it just lives there forever. It's never going to go away, and you can never get it back.
Yeah.
So hopefully they get that lock button or a drag select for things soon. I really want the gimbaling feature to come up.
The
That's supposed to be
rotation.
coming up soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 3D rotation in all directions.
Oh, I will.
That's just going to change the game for this
Being
program.
able to like take this and tip it on its side and like set up
Hmm.
like bar brawls for tables and chairs and stuff. Yeah. Um.
Put crystals on the wall instead of on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
Yep.
thing.
Let's see. We covered how long you've been a professional DM. That's already done. We covered how do you get to be a professional GM.
You just do it. Notably, remember that first session I told you about with the three people?
Yeah.
One of those three people still plays in my games.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she plays every Tuesday and Saturday night now.
Crap. Yeah, yeah, that kicks ass. Um, oh yeah, we're talking about systems. Is there a system you haven't
Yeah,
played yet but want to? Warhammer.
Warhammer. That's the big one.
Yep.
Um, I would like to also play a bit more BattleTech. BattleTech is near and dear to my heart with the Mech Warrior stuff. The problem is that it is too number crunchy and takes too long to find out what you're doing, and there are too many rule lawyers in that system.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I can't play BattleTech, not because of the lore or the content, but because the system itself is too grindy and slow. I can't justify spending 4 hours to do 3 rounds.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a long game where very little happens.
Indeed.
Um,
Yeah, I like to shoot for about a 10-minute round max for all players at the table so that everyone gets a turn at least every 10 minutes. If we can shoot for that, that's my goal.
yeah, it's good for keeping people locked in and interested and stuff.
Mhm.
I'll
The
ask this
faster
one
the better,
before this one
because you
gets
don't want them
lost.
walking away.
Yeah. What is the craziest NPC you've ever created, and what purpose were they meant to serve?
Craziest NPC I ever created. Um, by definition of the question, I'm going to go two ways with this question because it's kind of fun to be like, what's the craziest and what's the most mundane, right? Um, we're going to start with the most mundane. The most mundane character I ever created is a guy by the name of Frank. He's a farmer. His character introduction is he's wearing coveralls, he's in a field, and has a pitchfork. He watched the party walk by and decided to follow them out of curiosity. He has no powers, he's level 0, and he just wanders with this super high powered party and just goes, well, hot damn, that's really damn cool. And just walks with them. And people
Oh
think
no.
he's a super powerful sorcerer or something. They make these assumptions about him because he's with these S tier, level 20s, level 40, level 14 characters. But he's a level 0 with like 5 hit points. He just is there hanging out and thinks everything's cool. No one has ever attacked him. No one's ever tried to persuade him of anything. We've had people run away from him. He's just Frank the farmer. That's his entire character. Most mundane character, and he's a delight.
Nice. So we'll hold up for your next part of it because they're in ad
Yep.
jail.
Oh, and Lancer is great. If we got the subscriber, um,
Yeah. BattleTech. Oh yeah, Lancer.
yeah,
Hollowed was asking about Lancer. I
yeah,
have not played that. I've
Lancer's
watched a
a
couple
cool
games of
option.
it.
I've played one game of it, and it is a nice middle ground if you can find a group who's willing to put in the time for it.
Yeah, I think that's the game I've heard that's like 3 hours worth of character creation.
Yeah, and your character can die during character creation or be completely broke.
Random.
Like you
Weird.
can invalidate your character during character creation, which
Is it
not a huge fan of.
like randomly?
There are random aspects to it, but by making the wrong decisions in what you choose, you can screw your character over permanently.
Ah, feels yikes.
Yeah. And it's to the point where the GM can't really save you.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Uh Farm Fresh Frank is awesome.
Yeah. General loves farm fresh everything. She says it all the time because she knows how to mess with me. She loves the farm fresh everything.
Yeah,
She's done whole ads based on farm fresh.
lovely. Now, Frank the farmer, dude, like he will go on and on about the uh justifiable virtues of turnips. Like
Justifiable virtues of turnip. Like it.
Right. Like, I'm going to make you a turnip stew. It's going to be so damn spicy. It's going to make your eyes water. Come right on over here. We're going to grind one up right now and make you all set. And you set that up, and then it's not a superpower. He made turnip stew. That's it. But if you've never had turnip stew thrown in your face, it sucks.
Wait, do you say this from experience though?
Oh, yeah. For the record, my brother runs the farmers market in Fairbanks, Alaska. Real truth. He runs the farmers market, but in Fairbanks, Alaska, he handles like 140 vendors in the farmers
Holy
market,
crap!
and he is famous for growing turnips on his farm.
Jeez.
And shameless plug: if you're up in Fairbanks, Alaska, go visit Goosefoot Farms at the farmers market. Say hi from GM Eric to Brad.
I don't know if they're on here, but we actually do have some Alaska folks, friends of the channel and stuff too. So
Cool,
they might be on.
awesome. Well, people should be back from that ad break at this point.
Oh yeah, they are. So you can
All
go
right.
ahead with the second part
So
here.
the craziest one was a guy by the name of Mentar the Mad, who was a sorcerer. He was a professor in college, and he was teaching the arcane arts, and a wild magic surge fired off. He has no control over his spell casting. So you never know what spell he's going to cast when he casts it. And so I randomly roll which spell he's casting at what time all the time. And the sad part for Mentar is the first spell he cast was a fireball and he killed his entire class. So it's a super traumatic origin story where he got kicked out of college as a professor and banned from the scholastic arts because he killed his students.
They kind of frown on that there.
Right. And the fun part for me is I played that character for one session before someone came in and is like, I want to play that character, and took it over for 3 years. It was a lot of fun.
Let's see. Was there another one I missed? Maybe that was it. Oh no. Buford. Buford is asking, throughout your years of gaming, have you collected many miniatures? And if so, what was your most expensive one you've ever been willing to drop money for?
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that's a good question. Have I collected many miniatures? Yeah. I have boxes and tackle boxes of minis. Um, the most money I've dumped on a miniature was actually for a bachelor party that I ran in it would have been October of this past year. It's actually right over here. Let me grab it real quick.
Nice. A little show and tell going on.
Let's pull him up here real quick. We'll grab him off the shelf and bring him up. We can show him off a little bit. I spent a lot of money getting him built. We bought an airbrush. We did the 3D printer thing. We spent about 80 hours creating the mini. But it is this dragon that we got 3D printed. We bought the model off of Etsy, but it's got all the spikes and everything on it. And we got it all painted and airbrushed all over, did all the washes and everything on it. And pretty proud of it. It's an FDM printer, not resin, so it took a lot of time to get right, but it came out pretty good.
That looks awesome. You said that was
So lots of spikes.
that was for a bachelor party?
For bachelor party, I got contracted to run the bachelor party, and I actually ran the wedding as well. I officiated the wedding, and he's got spikes on his feet and everything. It's really cool.
Interesting person, Eric.
But yeah. Oh
Do
yeah.
a lot of different stuff.
Oh yeah. The fun part is the people who asked me to officiate the wedding are former players, and their characters are in my campaign setting. And I officiated the wedding with a sword. And when we got to, hey, is there anyone in the audience who would dare to speak up right now? I drew the sword and handed it to the best man and had him hold it during that whole question.
Better
And
not.
it was like, no, great. I don't want to get the sword dirty. And we gave the sword to the bride and groom for their pictures, and they got to keep the sword.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was a good one, Buford. Led to some extra
But yeah,
stuff.
all told, the dragon ended up costing us about $130 between the model price, the filament, the paints, the glue, and the time ended up being about $130.
Nice. Um, so yeah, I know you said you more so prefer to run games now instead of play them, but
Oh yeah.
when you
Oh
do
yeah.
play, and we'll since there's such a like a variety of systems and stuff, we'll keep it to 5e. We'll say,
Sure.
what's your go-to class?
Doesn't matter the system. Doesn't matter the system at all.
Nice.
If I'm playing in a game, you're going to find me unarmed, usually unarmored, and I'm going to be tavern brawling. I'm going to take something and I'm going to hit something with it.
There you
It allows, I find it as a RP system. I enjoy the creativity of, oh, I am next to a car and someone's attacking me. I break the mirror off the car and that's my improvised weapon. Let's go.
go. Like it.
Like, and it comes from, I'm not proud of this, but growing up in my early 20s, in teenage years, I was a hothead and I got into way too many fights growing up. And I don't fight fair. It has been, I'm 48, it has been 23 years since I last got in a fight. And I don't want to get in a fight anymore, but having done so,
You just want to
that's
narrate them
kind
now.
of who I am. I like narrating them. It's a great self-insert to just put myself in there and be like, hey, look, here's what I would do. And it's kind of fun to do. If I'm going to play a spellcaster, it's very much a secretive spellcaster where you're not going to tell that I'm casting a spell until it's too late. I'm not flashy in my RP. When I do those things, it's all about enhancing other characters. Again, that's what I really enjoy is the combo wombos, making my character cooler by making someone else's character cooler. If the NPC's hitting me, I'm going to get a busted lip. I'm going to get knocked down. I go prone all the damn time. You're going to tear my clothes in spite of you not wanting to. We're going to do all of the stuff that enhances the story as opposed to making me just feel cool.
Nice. Hide this real quick. There we go. A little bit of light going on. All right. So we got a little bit of a tavern brawler. Let's see.
Very much so.
Blue Inator's asking, have you ever TPK'd accidentally? I think
Yes.
I think unless you were
Most of my TPQs.
absolute madman, like most DM TPKs are accidentally. Most.
Uh, most of my TPKs have been straight up accidents that my players didn't realize what they were doing and just walked right into and did themselves. Um, we had one that I can think of right away where there was a hall filled with a flammable mist. One of the player characters knew it was a flammable mist and so cast light so they didn't have to use torches. And they went down this hall and they're way down the hall. They find the source of the mist. It's coming out of the wall. And then the NPC shows up, the Otyug, big garbage monster basically, comes out of the darkness and attacks them. And the first thing that the first person does, surprise round, firebolt. And the
Whoops.
entire hall is engulfed with flames while they're standing at the source that is spraying burning hands at them. Everybody dies. And I'm like, okay, so that's what would have happened. Would you guys like to not have to start a new campaign next week? We can reset and not have done that. And so we rewound that one action because the one player forgot to communicate that the hall was flammable. But, that sort of thing. As far as a combat related where it took turns to get through, we did a TPK. I've got an adventure series that I've been developing for a year now called Dark Frost. And that one, out of the 6 play groups that have tried going through it, one group has made it through without TPKing.
Nice.
One. The other 5 groups have all TPK'd in combat due to a variety of reasons, ranging from I walked off a cliff and died because it was dark and I didn't wait for the torch.
Fair.
To I got carried away by the flying thing and didn't tell anyone that I was being carried away. I didn't scream. You know, TPKs happen, and as long as it enhances the story, I'm okay with it.
Nice, nice, nice. So yeah, accidental TPKs usually, unless you're really trying to
Yep.
railroad something, I imagine. Um,
I hate I hate killing player characters. I do. However,
your
if you go over to my
list,
Twitch channel, oh, the list.
the list
You've
is
seen it.
growing.
Every time I kill a player character on stream, I stick it on that list. And it's long.
Growing. I like, well,
Oh yeah.
I'll pop in a stream sometimes, and I was like, huh, the party's different now. Wonder what happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, we got two
Fortunately,
blue,
it's been a while though.
a little bit, I think. Um,
Yeah.
Blue's asking, have you ever thought about having animated shorts? I'm gonna say yes, but expensive. Is that
Yes, but exceedingly expensive.
yes?
For those who don't know how much art costs, to give you an idea, to get just a gesture-based short video, just you know, 10 frames from a gesture artist where you don't line anything, it's just strokes that they take 15 seconds to do a 10 frame gesture piece of art is about $100. To
And
get a lined piece of art that is finished and just static is about $150. To get a good animation, you're talking thousands of dollars.
yeah,
So yeah, I'd love to.
you have
I'd
to.
love to.
Us DMs, we hope for those like magical unicorns, or like, hey, I can do animation. And I really want to do something. Are you cool with that? You're like, yeah, go ahead. Those the
Hmm.
unicorns though. That's not a very common thing.
Not at all. I had a college student, would have been 2 years ago, who was doing a college project, and he was trying to become a comic artist, a comic book artist, and he did a 10 page series of the first two episodes of one of my campaigns.
Nice.
And it's super sketchy, and he dropped off the planet. I wish he'd continue, but it he was taking a week to do a single page, and it was great for what it was. It was free because it was his college project, but it's not art that I would recommend anyone purchase. I
Right.
would love to find someone who's bored and an animator and just wants to have content to work on projects and wants to do it for free. I'd love that. But like you said, unicorn, it's not going to happen
Yep. And yeah, we were talking a little bit about it
because
before
they
we
can make,
started about paying
yeah,
for
they can
art.
make hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing the same thing for somebody else.
Yeah. Um.
If
And
you're
yeah.
interested in making a ton of money, guys, learn how to do animations.
Animations and go find a bunch of GMs and like especially GM streamers that would really kill for that sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Just don't.
Like I've learned how to do animations based off of Dungeon Alchemist now. I do animated loading screens and setting images
Yeah.
because we can do the exports of video. And if you export like 36 seconds of the video of a setting, like you hop down into cinematic mode or
Yep.
put a token on, go ahead, take a second here from creating, toss a token on the map here. Just grab one of the tokens, doesn't matter which one, right?
Do one of these numbers.
Grab both tokens, doesn't matter yet. And then view there, and go to the animations, right, where the torches are. If you were to stand still while looking at one of the torches, well, we don't have any animations of the crystals. Turn around. All right. If you stand here and you look at the torch, and if you were to hit the letter R, it's
Yep.
going to start recording the video. You record 36 seconds of the video. Then you export the video into a video editor. You slice the last 6 seconds off and you do a dissolve from the last 6 seconds and you slide that last 6 seconds to the front. It loops the video with a dissolve and you can never tell that it's looping.
Nice.
So you get a looping thing with the particle effects, but you can never tell where the slice is. And so you get these really cool animations. You can do lava, you can do the torches, you can do some of those magical effects. As long as you don't have any defined lines, you can pretty much loop them through there. And it makes a really cool effect for the players to have something to look at.
Yeah, that's the animation thing is super fun
Hey,
to
it
play with.
Sparkles Mandy. Hey, Mandy.
Let's
We
see.
raid Mandy on a regular basis.
Yeah, hang out in her streams a lot too. I think mostly in the when I get to like actually listen to the most of is the Tomb of Annihilation one, Chult.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then I was hanging out in their Eberron stream the other day.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mandy's really cool. If you guys have not followed Mandy, go check her out as well.
let's see, we had another one come in. Have you ever been a player with a GM that you either couldn't finish with or got into a disagreement with over their style, or a
Yeah.
player or GM, we'll say?
As a player, as a GM, all the time. I've had players who I just don't agree with and was not able to work with, and we've had to part ways. We already talked about that.
Yep.
As a GM, as a player, me being a player, I was with a group that the GM knew that I was a GM. I had GM for him previously, and he had it out for me. He's like, I'm going to kill Eric's character. And I don't care which character Eric's playing, we're going to kill Eric's character. So in the span of 4 sessions, I went through 7 characters. Um, and other players at the table started getting pissed off that Eric's just getting targeted by everything. It didn't matter if I was in the front, back, middle, if I was doing whatever. So in Pathfinder 1, you could build a character who got bonuses based off of being a pacifist. And so I built a dwarf who had such high AC and saves that he could never fail anything, and no one could ever hit him. And if you couldn't hit him, you couldn't hit anyone else in the party. So the GM stopped having fun because he couldn't hurt anybody because my character never engaged. So all we did was talk about everything, and the GM did no damage. So I defeated the GM by not being able to die.
And that was also if you haven't played Pathfinder 1, they by the time that Pathfinder 1 was done, there were so many options for things you could
Oh
do.
yeah,
Like you had to have an encyclopedic knowledge of that game to have any idea of what was going on all the time, or what could
indeed.
potentially, I should say.
Especially once you got into the racial book, the custom race book was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a ton of different things you could do in that.
I still like the ultimate equipment book that they had. Like, if you've not checked that one out, there's some amazing item creation concepts in the ultimate equipment book from Pathfinder 1. Go check that one out.
Samurai and PF1, nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, I know this will be surprising for you, but we ran We Be Goblins, the one of the free RPG books.
Fun.
So much fun. That
Mm-hmm.
was really what got us into the original Pathfinder, and then kind of kept going with it.
Cool.
Let's see, knock that one out. Let's see, we got that one. Burning through the questions, guys. So if you have any more, be sure to ask them. I guess I
Yeah.
asked a lot of good ones too. Let's see. Went with that. Oh yeah, here's a good one. Are all of your games in your homebrew world? Everything you run, or do you run like any
Yeah.
pre-made adventures or anything like that?
I did a module last Sunday because we had too many people out for the first session of the year. And we did the last of the dungeon of the Dragon Delves for 2025. I
Nice.
adapted it for 2014. We did that one last Sunday, but that's a rare case for me. My campaigns all run in the same campaign setting, which is called Toivoa, available at toivoarpg.com. If you get into it, I run these 8 campaigns every single week, and they're interconnected in a shared space. What one group does affects the other groups, and we can send messages from one group to the next. It's kind of that whole shared universe thing where if one group kills an NPC, that NPC is dead. If you sell something to an NPC, it's in that NPC's inventory, so another group can buy it. And it's a lot of fun to have that. as a GM, a couple years ago, Wizards of the Coast had this OGL crisis, if you guys remember that, where they were going to start suing people for using the Forgotten Realms.
Yep.
And people freaked out. As a professional GM, I don't make enough money to get sued by Wizards of the Coast. I wish I made enough money to be able to survive that, but there's just no way I could survive a lawsuit from them. So I'm like, okay, look, you guys threatened this. I'm out. We're not doing Forgotten Realms anymore. We had been doing a whole bunch of really cool things in Cormyr in the Forgotten Realms.
Yep.
We were doing a lot of stuff around that entire area, and we decided, hey, look, I need to get out of the Forgotten Realms as quickly as possible so I don't get sued. So we created Toivoa, and it's a living world where we encourage people to create their own content. We have them send it to the team. We review it, make sure it fits with the lore that's already been established, and usually include what's been provided. One of the most recent suggestions was actually by Bluinator, who created an entire city called Gold Trinket City, which is a goblin capital underground that is all focused on gambling, and rich people are there a lot, and slavery is illegal there. If there are people who come to Gold Trinket City with slaves, the populace scams the person who has the slaves until they have to free the slave due to their losses in the gambling.
Nice.
It's very much, if you're familiar with Quark from DS9, it's that kind of vibe, but in an entire city.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like
and that was created by one of my players who submits the document, is like, here's what we want to include. And he develops more stuff for it. We make sure it fits, and then eventually it'll make it onto the map. But we do that with deities, we do it with player characters, races, whatever the players need in order to fit within the campaign setting, we make it work if we can.
Yeah, so you just like collaborative, instead of just collaborative storytelling, collaborative world building as well.
Collaborative world building makes my life a lot easier. It builds the investment of my players into the campaign setting a lot greater, because all of a sudden, oh, I have a family. What's my family? Well, who are your parents, who are your family tree, etc. And by expanding that, you go in and be like, okay, these are their traditions. These are what they do in this section of the world. And then we establish that lore, and anyone who's in that section as a future character has to deal with all the lore that's already been pre-built. And instead of one guy sitting there trying to build lore for, I've got 8 groups with 6 people in each group, so 48, and I've got a couple groups that have 7. So let's say 50 people a week. Me building lore for 50 people a week is unmanageable.
Yeah.
Having people come in and build their own lore and me just refine it makes my life as a GM a lot easier, builds everyone's immersion. It's just great. So the way I look at it is embrace it, give the players power as long as it's going to fit and doesn't break the system or the game or the story.
So this is right in there with like your last one, but kind of goes along with it. Where did you come up with the land of Toivoa, and what was your initial plan for Toivoa? How have those plans changed as players affect the world?
Ooh. So the original plan for Toivoa, I liked the concept of a post-apocalyptic thing. I'm a huge Fallout fan, but I wanted to run fantasy as opposed to sci-fi. So what we did was we established I wanted a word for the campaign setting that made sense to inspire hope and interest. And Toivoa is the Finnish word for hope. It literally translates to hope.
A lore drop.
And little lore drop for everybody. But we took the setting and we're like, okay, what would make a lot of sense in order to build a lot of layers to the campaign setting? I'm like, well, you can build a map, right? And that's all well and good, but that's one layer. Okay, people really like the Underdark and things like that. What can we do to explore that sort of thing? So what happens is instead of having one layer of the world, you have sky islands that compact on each other because of a war that caused them all to fall. And so the basis of the campaign setting is 3,000 years ago, technology was much higher. There was a disparity between the sky dwellers and the ground dwellers. People on the sky islands, celestials, Aarakocra, fiends, dragons, etc., were oppressing and exploiting the ground dwellers, who went to war against the sky dwelling people. Through a series of events that are still being explored, several of the sky islands were forced to crash. Other sky islands crashed because of a second reason. And when sky islands crash, they have to land somewhere, usually on other cities that they were exploiting, thereby compacting that into subterranean lore areas that you can go explore. So you can have a landmass that is 3 or 4 islands deep with 3 or 4 cultures deep in a tower that is all buried. So, from a map making perspective for Dungeon Alchemist, I can create caves that go into buildings. I can create buildings that are on the surface. It allows for a lot more lore and creative opportunities. It goes into things like Moria. Imagine if Moria was a floating city that crashed on top of a Wanti city full of serpents. Now you've got Balrogs with snake people. You got all sorts of things like that. So you embrace that and use it to build lore vertically. It's fun.
Like it. There's being able to add the like the two different peoples, especially kind of playing on like I don't know if you meant to do this, whatever, but like higher class, lower
Mhm.
class, you know,
Exactly.
physically.
Yeah,
Like,
we lean into the racial disparity a lot. We also deal with some gender inequality stuff. We have a culture called Shu, which is spelled Shau,
mhm.
that is an oppressive matriarchy, and men are less important than beasts in that culture. And because most TTRPG players are men, them adventuring in a system where they are the oppressed people really messes with the players' minds, and it's a lot of fun to explore as a GM and as players because they have to deal with the fact that, oh, you're nobody here, and the feminine energy is the one that's going to be predominant. It's a lot of fun to twist things and flip them on their heads compared to what we have in real life, unfortunately. So it's fun to mess with expectations and deal with things. We've established lore that our Dragonborn in Toivoa are
One sec.
basically necromantic experiments.
We'll hold up for the ads because I don't want them to miss
Ads.
this stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Damn ads. Remember, subscribe.
Subscribe for no ads.
I don't get to do this when I'm streaming because I'm focused on the game. So I'm just ranting.
Yeah. No. No. I mean, that's what you're here for. You're here to tell us all about it.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, you're having a good time hanging out and stuff. Uh,
I am.
sweet. Got
And feel free to make the lights more intense.
okay. Cool. That's why
Yeah.
I always build in like the light mode so I can see, and then drop it down to like something darker so the lighting actually pops.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so I can see
Yep.
what I'm doing. But yeah, if you want it more intense, I can crank most of
Oh
these up.
yeah. Yeah, we are mining light.
Get a bunch of these going. Oops.
Yeah, we want the colors. All the colors. Mm-hmm. It's fun.
I'm just gonna stay.
All good. All good. It's pretty cool. All right, looks like we got people back.
Everybody's back. Sweet.
All right, where did I leave off?
You're talking about
Oh,
the
Dragonborn.
Dragonborn. Yep.
Yeah. The Dragonborn in Toivoa are basically necromantic experiments that sorcerers and wizards do on the corpses of dragons in order to create a humanoid form. So if you've seen Delicious in Dungeon, which is a show on Netflix, there's also a manga about it.
Nobody here likes that, right? Absolutely nobody.
Nobody here likes Delicious in Dungeon, right?
We definitely don't have characters made from, Delicious in Dungeon.
Right. In that show, they resurrect one of the characters from the corpse of a red dragon.
Hmm.
And I loved that lore. And so we just went ahead and ninja'd that and developed it further to where Dragonborn in the Toivoa campaign setting are rare and despised because they are experiments from necromancers who are delving into things they shouldn't. And so if you're a Dragonborn in Toivoa, just by simply existing, you're disliked. And it is this racial stigma of you were created from the corpse of a dragon through this dark magic. And whoever created you is a bad dude. Doesn't mean you're a bad dude, and you might be able to prove yourself to be a good guy, etc., or a good person, but you're going to have this stigma just by existing and where you came from.
Nice. Watch much made me hungry. Yeah. I hope you like weird creature concoctions.
Oh yeah,
It's a very fun show though.
oh yeah. If you've not seen Delicious in Dungeon, highly recommend it. It's great. The animated armor is amazing.
Yes. That was such a fun episode. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of notorious among our group for not really liking a whole lot of anime. I like some of it here and there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like super particular about which anime I like, and I latched on to Delicious in Dungeon pretty good. That was a fun
Yeah.
one.
Delicious in Dungeon is great. I'm personally a huge Trigun fan. If you're familiar with Trigun
Yep.
and Vash the Stampede, love Vash the Stampede and Trigun. Um, Also Voltron, like Voltron stuff is really good.
Doesn't be able to get any of those. There we go. Yeah. So you get lots of Record of the Lodos War. Yeah, Trigun. Death Note. Death Note. I feel
Robotech
like
as well.
uh,
Eh,
Death Note's cool because I think
I was not a Death Note fan.
you could do some fun things with it, like pulling parts of that into a game.
No, I will disagree with you here, and the reason I'm going to disagree is the only reason Death Note is interesting is if the person who has the Death Note has any morality at all. If the Death Note gets into hands of any intelligent person who is evil, it's over. You give the Death Note to any legitimate bad dude and any legitimate villain who's at all intelligent, Death Note just kills everybody who opposes him and he becomes world leader. There's no reason that it shouldn't just be absolutely God mode.
Plot armor.
You can exploit people and just mean.
All right. Yeah. Here's one. This is one just came up with while we were talking about that. Are you a
Sure.
fan of redeemable villains, or do you like having villains that are, just want to watch the world burn?
Ooh, both. And I'm not going to tell you which ones are which. I want the situation to fit the story. Do I have irredeemable villains in my games right now? Yes. Do I have redeemable villains in my games? Yep. And do I have ones that could be switched? Yeah. I believe that it relies on the story and what happens in the story. There are characters who should just be flat out evil and mean and bad, but there needs to be a motivation for that. If there's no motivation as to why, it's boring.
Yeah.
You want to have a character that has a reason. Why does this person want the world to burn? Um, There's a famous wrestler by the name of Al Snow. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. I'm a huge wrestling fan from a storytelling perspective.
Hmm.
Al Snow had a shtick where he always wrestled with a mannequin head. Okay, weird guy, but his storytelling was very strong. And there's an interview from Hannibal TV on him where he talks about storytelling in general. And if you've not watched it, I highly recommend you go watch that as a GM or as a player to learn how to tell stories better. But he told a story about why do people want to boo the villain? What's going to motivate you to hate this guy? And why is the villain doing what he's doing? There has to be a reason for it.
Hmm.
If there's no reason, it's boring and no one's going to believe it. You want to drive the story and the meaning of the story. Why is the villain the villain? If you've got a villain who's just, I want to set fires, why does he want to set fires? Does he like to see the pretty lights? Does he. If you got a villain who likes to see pretty lights and fires, well, that allows your players to exploit that by using like prismatic spray or minor illusions to create fires that entertain the villain. That creates a more dynamic encounter than just, oh, I set fires.
Yeah.
You know, if it's, I like watching the ash flow in the wind. Okay, well, maybe the players can use ash and blow ash through the area to make it more interesting. What is the villain afraid of? Why are they doing what they're doing? You need to have a reason for the character. If there's no reason, it's a boring character. You can't just have evil for the sake of evil. It doesn't exist. Everyone does something for a reason, and they usually think they're the good guys.
Yep. Like why is that person that person, and delving down into that.
Yeah.
I asked that because I got to a point where suddenly it seemed like in especially like pop culture to kind of media, every single villain we were supposed to feel bad for, it felt like, and you're like, I
Mhm.
miss the comic book days where somebody was just like, I hate people, let's get rid of people, and went from there, and started trying to delete as many people as they could, and like you end
Mhm.
up with a different kind of um eh, experience, I guess, when you're
Yeah.
reading it from a comic book perspective or if you're playing it. Um, and then like I just kind of like, man, I miss the Jokers who just want to do like chaos for chaos sake. That I'm kind of over the Joker for the period of time, but like chaos for chaos sake or
Mm.
Carnage is kind of right in there too. It just they have the reasons, but there's no redeemable qualities for those characters in my eyes. Like
Right.
you should not
Right.
want to save them.
Joker, Joker legitimately wants to ruin Batman.
Hmm.
Like that is his entire goal is ruin Batman because Batman did this to Joker. That the reason Joker exists is because Bruce Wayne as Batman caused Joker to be traumatized and get chemically burned.
Hmm.
That's it. Joker's entire thing is mess Batman up in order to get back at him. Vengeance. In the case of Carnage, he's a symbiote who's trying to kill things in order to feed. He's a primal force attached to a serial killer. And when you get into that, it's like, okay, why is I forget his name. I forgot the symbiote's host. Anyway,
Cletus
Carnage's
Cassidy.
host, Cassidy, right?
Yep.
Cassidy is out to track down the people who arrested him and have ruined his killing spree. And that's what Carnage goes after and then tries to provide himself with security and survivability. That's his fear is being confined. He wants freedom. So when you embrace those and you allow them to be like, okay, I'm willing to do anything in order to achieve my goals, that makes a compelling villain. The goal from Joker, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, including be an absolute horrible human being to everybody around him, including his own minions, in order to get at Batman. Someone else is about to kill Batman. Joker kills that guy because it has to be Joker that does it,
Hmm.
right? Carnage's case, He wants freedom. The worst thing for Carnage is getting put in a box, right? That's the worst thing. Getting webbed by Spider-Man. Worst thing that can happen to Carnage. He doesn't want to be restrained. And he'll do whatever it takes, kill people, sacrifice them, etc., in order to escape. And by doing so, he's a believable villain because you understand what he's going for and why.
Right. Yeah. I just got to the point where like I just want to make. Actually, you know what?
A bad villain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say that, and I'll ask you because I've done this on accident a couple times, but now I know I can do it.
Sure.
He was in here earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been using him as an example lately. Is Mr. Garen in the chat here? I've accidentally made him hate, like absolutely hate, despise, want to murder on the spot NPCs. And first couple times did it on accident, but then I realized pretty quick, like, huh, I know how I can make him hate this character. Have you run into that? Like, have you come across something like where you've had an NPC out there, and for some reason one of your players is just like, that guy needs to die.
Yes. Yeah.
Have
And
you?
I love that so much. Um, Sometimes there's an NPC that you create specifically to push a button.
Hmm.
Okay. And some people have one button. Most people have many buttons that you can be like, this is going to annoy everybody. Boop. And it's just going to annoy the tar out of everybody until someone's like, I really like that guy. And everyone thinks that one person's weird.
Yeah.
I had a character this morning, actually, who very likable vampire, personable, polite, never tried to feed on anybody. The only thing he did wrong to the party was 20 years ago, he revealed the location of the martial arts master of one of the player characters. He didn't kill the martial arts master. He just revealed the location to an assassin that was threatening the vampire. Didn't have much choice in the matter. Charles the vampire, named Charles, he runs a club in a town. Nice buffet, nice dance hall, nice couches, right? Charles the vampire gave this information out because he got threatened by an assassin. You know where this guy is. Tell us or we're going to kill you. So he's like, all right, I'll tell you what's going to happen, right? Well, 20 years later, the player character who's the student of this martial arts master shows up and says, you're responsible for telling the assassins where my master was. We're going to kill you now. He's like, can we talk about it? Well, you can talk. All right. And they have a whole conversation. They sit down on the couch and everything, but it doesn't matter what this guy says. He's going to die. And they went through the whole process of discussing the legality of it, etc. And it was, we're going to push the button of this guy pushed the button of I messed with your master. And all I had to do in order to get Tomo to hate this guy was I'm somewhat responsible. I told a secret. And I know the player. The player has been in my games for years and years now. 4 years. And one of his triggers as a player is he hates having secrets revealed about other people to him or about him. He
Hmm.
hates having someone reveal a secret that wasn't intended. By having this NPC reveal a secret about another NPC, that's a betrayal of trust. And this player is like you betrayed trust of someone else to someone else, you got to die. So all I have to do for that player is betray trust in a secret. I've got him on the hook. It's great.
And did Charles, the nice couch owner vampire, bite the dust that day?
Yeah. Today, yeah, they went and they had a whole fight with him, and they killed the vampire. Fortunately, vampire's coming back. Um,
Or Charles?
they know that as well, but they killed Charles once. He lost his body. He had to Misty escape, and he'll come back in a future episode at some point, or when someone else comes back to him, because they didn't track down his, final form in the buried state. So He's going to spend, and we established this in a previous episode, he's going to spend the next 14 days walking back to town. So
To get back to his nice
he's
couch.
not a he's not a super vampire. Fortunately, he sent out letters, and we role played through this. He sent out letters to all the people who were supposed to be at the club that night and told them to stay home because they were closed. So he saved all of his patrons from death. He took care of his patrons. He's a business owner. He's just taking care of things. And he realized, I've got to die. I'm going to try to defend myself, of course, but, got to do what you got to do. And they did the story. It's great.
Or Charles, though.
But yeah, finding that button, I don't know what your player's button is that you can do to push it to make him hate the NPC. But I have an NPC whose voice, everyone hates the voice for this NPC.
Yep.
And all I have to do is be like, hello, my name is Ronaldus Basil. And all of a sudden, everyone wants to punch the guy in the chin. I've got art made of him, and he looks like a goody two-shoes version of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
I love it.
And the sucky part is for everyone else, he's never done anything wrong. He is the knight in shining armor with the flowing brown hair. Best armor. He's better than you. Everyone knows he's better than you. He knows he's better than you, and he rubs it in. But he has the best interest of the city at heart, and he's willing to sacrifice everything and all of his money in order to protect the city. So you want to kill him, but that'd make you the bad guys. So no one ever messes with him because do we really want to mess with the captain of the guard who really looks out for us and would defend us? It's fun. He is so punchable.
I like making punchable characters. Super fun. General there is fun to mess with because she makes purposely gross characters all the time, and yet she will get grossed out by a lot of characters. So it's really fun to see which things bother her and which things don't, in terms of like grossness with characters and like.
So the squirmies but not the phobias?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love squirmies. I love finding a squirmy that someone's like, that's disgusting, but it's not going to prevent me from playing in the games.
Yep.
I have a player who they joined a horror campaign on Saturday nights. They're like, we want to do all sorts of body horror, and we want to do, disgusting things, and bring on the horror, Eric. And I'm like, the bed has bed bugs in it, and it's crawling. And they're like, okay, Eric, that's too far. I'm like, okay.
Have you homebrewed a swarm
every
of
time
bug?
I didn't have to do, it's not swarm of bed bugs. They're not a monster to be attacked. It's just bed bugs.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a rash. Like, that's all it is. But it's a icky for the person, and they loved the fact that I got an emotional response. Because as GMs, my job as a professional GM is to develop emotion. All I want to develop, my job is to get you to be passionate about the game. I learned this when I worked for Blizzard Entertainment. What they drive is passion. They don't care if you're angry, sad, happy, exuberant, whatever it is. They want you to have emotional content. If you can get someone to be emotional about your game, you're doing the right thing. I want you to care. I want you to be like, why the hell did this person do this thing? I'm upset about this. Great. I want you to be upset. I want you to be happy that this happened. I want you to be sad that this happened. I want you to be angry at my NPC. If I've got that emotion going, I'm doing a good job. Because why are you here? You're not here to be bored. You're not here to not care. I want you to be invested emotionally in the story. The best movies are the ones that make you cry, scream, jump out of your chair, shout, whatever it is, laugh. You want the emotional content. As GMs, we thrive and live or die as GMs on developing emotional content for our players. The moment you stop that, the moment you're just rolling numbers, why? You can just do it with a calculator. It doesn't matter anymore. You gotta drive. Hey, we want to feel cool. We want to feel angry, sad, happy, whatever it is, turmoil, sorrow. Get the emotional content in there so that they can feel something. Because too many times in our real lives, we're not getting the range of emotions that we want. We are stuck in, we have to do what we have to do. By getting that emotional content that we want, the happiness, the sorrow, etc., we get to express ourselves, and it's a lot more engaging.
Yes. Also, I don't know if anybody in Chatland caught it, but Eric kind of casually
Sure.
just dropped something in there. Did you guys? I'm gonna give them a chance to see. You guys pick up on that?
What's that?
One of your past employments. Like I said, you're a very interesting person. You've done a lot of stuff, and
Hmm.
yeah, past employment at Blizzard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a GM over at Blizzard Entertainment. Um, Back when Battle for Azeroth launched, I was working for Blizzard Entertainment as a contractor. I worked for them. They originally hired me for a 3-month contract to fill in the launch for BFA, which was one of their expansions, and really successful one. They did really good. But they hired me for 3 months, and they extended my contract twice. And they were going to hire me on, but at the last week, they decided to not only release all the contractors, but they also did a massive employment cut of their customer service staff because they were going through the whole drama over in LA about all the crap that happened over there.
Hmm.
I was working in Austin where none of that happened. But I got recommended to continue working there. They've actually approached me to go work there again, um, as a GM, and I had to turn them down because they were offering less money than I'm making now, which is really cool to be able to say that I turned down Blizzard Entertainment as a GM,
Right.
um, because I loved working for them. In spite of all the problems that Blizzard had over in Anaheim and with all that core group from the past, what happened in Austin was customer service and was really clean, and I really enjoyed working for them. They taught me a lot. I learned how to be a better leader and a better follower. I had an amazing boss by the name of Joe Mars. If he ever listens to this, I would go work for Joe Mars. That's about the only way that I would go back to Blizzard Entertainment or to pretty much any other business would be to work for Joe Mars or Mark Mellon. Those are two bosses that if they were to approach me today and be like, "Hey Eric, I need you to stop GMing, come work for me," those two bosses I would go work for again.
Nice.
But I've learned how to be a better boss by working at Blizzard. I learned game theory and mentality from those places and better customer service skills. And it's really cool to get in behind the scenes and see, hey, look, here's how we do what we do, why we do them, how we engage with our players, how we handle the forums, how we handle chats, how we handle tickets, etc. And that experience of 9 months working there, and just full transparency, I lived 120 miles from my office. Okay, so it was a 2-hour commute. So instead of doing the commute every day, I would drive up on a Monday and I would sleep in my van at Walmart in order to work at Blizzard Entertainment
Just because it was such a cool
because
experience opportunity.
it was on my bucket list of, hey, look, I want to work at a video game company. And at the time, this was the best employment opportunity I had. And I'm like, we're going to do this. My wife was super supportive. She was working in a school district. And she's like, you got to do this. It's your dream. You got to do this. So I did it. Lived out of my van for 9 months, and except on the weekends, I would go home for the weekends. And I learned so much working for Blizzard, and I've taken that knowledge and I've embraced it and put it into GME as a whole, and it's developed me as a person. And I'm very thankful for that. When I got let go by Blizzard, the customer service lead for Blizzard Entertainment, the VP of customer service, came over and handed me a set of Overwatch tumblers with the signatures of the entire customer service team. All the managers, all the team leads had signed this set of cups for me. And I still have it on my shelf.
Oh yeah.
Because when you earn the respect of an entire company's customer service team like that, you value that. And I've made friends that I'll probably have for the rest of my life that worked with me there. Um, and you just appreciate that kind of experience, and you got to value it and take it forward in life. Did I get an opportunity to do something really, really cool? Yeah. Yeah. When you are taking your showers at the Blizzard gym because you can't get a shower anywhere else during the week, that's where I showered, was at the Blizzard gym. When you're eating at the Blizzard cafeteria because you're trying to save some money, that's what you do in order to learn from the best. Because at the time, they were the best customer service company other than Amazon. And I learned so much that I'm very thankful for.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. It's learning tons of lore, like lore drops for Eric here. So, how many of your players
Mm-hmm.
know all this lore? Are they all learning something too tonight?
Most of them probably know a lot of this. Have I lived a crazy life? Yeah, I've had, I've had a crazy life. Um, but yeah, most of my players know that I worked for Blizzard. I've worked for a bunch of companies. Back in the day, I actually worked for the data center that hosted YouTube before YouTube got sold to Google.
Hmm.
I was on a first name basis with the guys who created YouTube. They would come in on the weekends, and we had one tech working at Server Beach at the time. And when they would come in on the weekend to get data off their server, they'd be talking to me because my shift was Friday through Tuesday, and that's what I did. I was the network admin for that company, and I loved working for them. Great company. They've gone under since then, but um, I've worked for a variety of really cool companies. And yeah, Jay Doodle said that I was the GM that RP'd when I interacted with customers at Blizzard. I was one of the last GMs to be allowed to go and interact with players in World of Warcraft, where we would actually go and be on the ground in person in front of them, because you had to earn a certification as a customer service person and have knowledge of the game to be fulfilling lore
Hmm.
in order to be on the ground talking to players in person. And very few GMs. We had 220 GMs working when I worked at Blizzard, and we had 3 people who were authorized to go and interact with players on the ground, and only 2 of us were allowed to give players items. And so, if you interacted with me, I would put ice cream in your bags. Like, you get ice cream, you get some fireworks here and there, nothing that impacted the game,
Yeah.
just toys from the GM of, hey, look, you're having a crappy day. Oh, look, I checked your account. It's your birthday. Congratulations. Here's a birthday cake. Things like that. Things that are memorable and are RP based, and we always did it in character. We had a whole role play system, and we got authorized to do these things. And I loved doing that sort of thing. But we were
I'll
one of
have
the
to have you
last GMs
repeat
who could do it.
that little last chunk there. Sorry to interrupt you,
Oh,
but
sure.
they got hit with the ads.
Ah,
The ads.
the ads. Subscribe.
Yeah, I think they were in the middle of talking about dropping the ice cream in their packs when the ads hit.
Yeah, all good. Doo-doo-doo. Squall Dog ran a progressive rating guild on Garage. Awesome.
Do you want do you want crystals all over this, or are they on like one side or the
Sure,
other? All right, cool.
sure. I'm gonna make your life hard.
That's all right. Yeah, this is a payment for you coming on. Give me your time.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Everybody up 18
All right, we
seconds.
got 18 seconds before Blue Nader's back. I may need to get the damn file from you on this just so I can do like my walkthroughs and cinematics and stuff.
Absolutely. I'll give you the whole file.
Awesome. Cool. Blue Nader's back. Looks
Back.
like everyone's back.
Excellent. So yeah, you
But
were
yeah,
dropping ice
I
cream in
was
people's
giving
packs.
I was giving ice cream to player characters. It was a lot of fun. I would hop in, and we had, because we have progressive groups that were doing cutting edge content. There were times where the raids would break, and they would send in tickets. Hey, the raid's broken. You need to come in and fix this. And we would hop in and be standing in the middle of their raid group while they're doing the fights, sitting there invisible and god moded, and we'd be like, all right, and the boss is supposed to die now. And we would push the button and kill the boss instead of them.
Nice.
And we did that.
You
I
get to
think I did
watch
that
them, like
twice.
watch the raid explode and enjoyment for killing
Yeah,
the boss.
exactly. And we got it all authorized. The biggest lesson I learned doing IT, and I learned this when I was 16 years old. My first job was working at a grocery store as a bagger and courtesy clerk, walking people out to their cars,
Yeah,
etc.
I did the same
My
thing.
second job, right. My second job was when I was 16. I worked for an internet service provider called DCCI Internet Services, long since gone. But my boss there taught me that you cover your ass with paperwork so when they come to spank you, it doesn't hurt. And so everything gets documented. When I worked for Blizzard Entertainment, if we were going to do something, I got it in writing from my boss. Hey, look, yes, it's okay for you to go and kill the boss for them when they reach this percentage. Yes, it's okay to do this. In my business, doing this professional GM thing, everything's documented. If someone allows me to use art, I get permission, written down, screenshotted, and saved in a file that's documented in multiple hard drives and on the cloud. Yes, I have permission to use this art. If someone says, hey, yes, you can use this character, documentation. So if they ever come back and said, I didn't say this, I've got all the documentation. We
Yeah.
make sure that we document everything. So if any professional advice from GM Eric, as far as any industry, cover your butt with paperwork. So when they come to spank you, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Just get it in writing
A more fun way of
and
saying
back it up somewhere
CYA.
else. Yeah, it's cover your ass
Yep.
with paperwork, just like a big pad of paper. You want that big phone book, for those boomers who know what a phone book is. You want that phone book behind you so when that paddle comes, because it's going to come. At some point, someone's going to try to get you in trouble. Having that paperwork is going to cover your butt.
Yep. I like it. So we get to another one. This is like taking us a little bit away from that one. Buford wants to know, how lenient are you with homebrew race class items, and has there ever been a time where a homebrew something broke a session or campaign?
Ooh, this is a good one. I love this one. How lenient am I? In general, as long as it's not breaking the game, I like to allow things. I am a big proponent of balance within boundaries. I like the analogy of a bowling alley, right? Where you've got this wide area that makes sense, and if the ball falls off of that on either side, it's bad. The moment that something becomes the right choice, it's unbalanced. It needs to be options. Well, I could take this spell, or I could take this one. There shouldn't be a right answer.
Mm-hmm.
If your class that you've created, or your race that you've created, or your subclass is the right answer and everyone should be this one thing, it's unbalanced and should not be allowed. The moment that it's, oh, yeah, that's a cool option. It's not too powerful. It's not too weak. It's a nice option. Then yeah, I'm going to allow it because why not? So that's my mentality on homebrew classes and stuff. Items wise, yeah, I have created hundreds and hundreds of homebrew items. I love them. I think that that is one of the coolest things that you can give someone because I don't think there's enough cool items in the books that are published.
No, the official books is that's one of my big complaints is we need more. Like I would love a whole book, and I had one for 3.5, I think. Uh, uh, was it Arms of Man or Manual of Equipment and Arms or something? Um, it's a whole book of just equipment, and there was magic items, there was mundane stuff. We need more of those instead
Yep,
of piecemealing it out between like adventure books and stuff.
right. We need more equipment books. That's the one thing I really wish we could get more of. And one of the things I was really disappointed in the 2025 DMG and Player's Handbook was they took like all of the equipment books and they stripped it down to just a few books, and that's what we got for the equipment section. We were promised crafting sections in the new books. We didn't get much.
Mm-mm. Well, I don't even think
Um,
there's like how to
there's a
build
crafting section.
encounters.
There is, but it's that long. It's like 4 inches in the entire book.
Or I guess
It's not good.
not their not the how to build an encounter, but how like their guidelines for making a new creature. Like there
Yep.
used to be one in 2014, whether it was good or bad is
Mhm.
open to debate, but I don't think there is one in the 24 stuff.
Yep. There's not a good one in there. But as far as magic items that I have allowed that ended up being broken, there's 3 currently in my campaign setting that I created, and I intended it to be end of campaign stuff. Okay? There are 3 keys to the Chrononacrum, which is a time dungeon. And my campaign group, which is my Wednesday night group, the Toivo and Trainwreck, check us out on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. They were ending their campaign. We had people leaving the group. The story was getting resolved, right? And so I'm like, okay, end of campaign, we're going to give them some really powerful items. They have a magic item that allows them to rewind time to a point that they have saved previously. Literally, an F5 key where whatever state they decide to do on, I lock down that page where their characters are, what their health bars are at, all the NPCs, all their consumables, and we pause that. I stick it on the back burner, and if they decide to go back to it within 24 hours, they restore to that point with all those spell slots and everything,
Nice.
right? Broken AF, because that's going to rewind death, that's going to rewind kills, consumables, everything. It rewinds it, and they get to keep all the meta knowledge that they gained, right? So they now understand puzzles, etc. Broken. They have a second one that allows them to pause time for multiple people, granting time stop to multiple people at a time. So that's the present aspect of time. And then they have a third one that allows them to accelerate time for a certain number of people in the group, and it can be seconds, minutes, hours, days, years. And they have to roll a die to determine which time scale it is and how many we're going forward or back.
Like it.
And so
It's
we're talking campaign breaking items. And then the campaign didn't end after that dungeon crawl.
you got to figure out how to work with it from there on out.
And so they've had these items now for 2 real life years. 2 real life years. And they're level 20 now. They got those items when they were level 16. They're level 20 and have been for, gosh, 8 months now. And these items are broken. They are items that no one should ever have in any D&D game ever. And I don't have to worry about them because the group is so hilariously accepting of the fact that they're broken items that they don't use them.
That's
They're
good.
like, we have them. We could use them all the time and break the game and ruin our own fun. So these items sit, one of them's unattuned, I think, right? Not even being used at all, like in a bag of holding. Because They actively acknowledge it's not fun for us to use these all the time. So it's trusting the players to recognize this. You communicate with the players, be like, hey, look, I recognize I messed up on this. Work with me on this. Realize this is broken. I'm open to you guys using it when it makes sense, but don't abuse it. And so they save it for the BBEG fights. They save it for the oh crap moments when they didn't expect for this effect to happen. And it's fun as long as you communicate with the players.
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question.
Have you ever swapped an item out? Like, hey, I messed up and I broke this.
Yeah.
Can you give this one up and let me give you something else instead?
Yeah, the +3 adamantine armor.
Oops.
Don't do that.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
reason why those aren't a thing.
The worst one that I ever did was long ago. Was +3 adamantine mithril armor for a wizard.
But it sounds badass.
It is, and it shouldn't exist.
Right. You have to say all those words together. That sounds awesome.
It sounds awesome until you can't kill the wizard anymore because, oh, look, he's got an AC of a bazillion and he's the tank when the paladin is the one who wants to be in front. It was an error. I messed up and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm willing to give you robes of the Archmagi instead. He's like, all right, deal.
Perfect.
So, yeah, he accepted it. It was good.
It's cool when you have players that are open for that kind of stuff too, instead of just getting angry. Like, no, I'm not giving it up.
It it has to. You have to explain it. You have to communicate and be open to being like, hey, look, I made a mistake. You have to be vulnerable. The moment that you get too cocky for yourself, the players are going to shut down. If you shut down, the players shut down. Be vulnerable, be real, realize I made a mistake. It's not on you. I messed up. I'm sorry that I have to reach this conversation and be like, hey, look, I gave you something that's going to break the game and ruin the fun for everybody. Can we talk about it? And if you got a player who's like, no, I'm keeping it. Well, you're violating rule 2. You're ruining the fun for everybody. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I'll get to Squall's question. From a lore
sure.
perspective, what is your favorite? I'm gonna guess this means like official races, by the way. What's your
Sure.
favorite D&D race, and what is your least favorite race?
Ooh. Favorite race. If I was going to choose a race for my players to play or for me to play, I'm going to be very controversial. I like human. Why? Because humans are both the most powerful race in the fact that they get the feat if you go the variant human, or you get the best stats. Either way, human is both the most powerful and the most limited. They have the most opportunity for growth, and players associate and do self inserts better with humans than they do with other races. The story is more accessible to new players if they're playing a human. They understand what we're going for. Here we go. I'm playing a human. Here's what we have. And they don't have damn dark vision. Screw the dark vision. Let me use light. Let us get really pretty colors instead of, oh, you're doing grayscale. Congratulations. If you have not messed with dark vision people, you can absolutely have a delightful time.
Mm-hmm.
Recreate this map that you're doing right now with all these colors, but make it a color puzzle, right? Put
Yep.
colors everywhere. Dark vision only sees in grayscale. All of a sudden, they can never solve the problem because they don't turn on a torch.
Yep. They don't want to.
It's wonderful.
Yep.
But dark vision, I think, is really strong. There's a place for it, yes, but it's not good storytelling, in my opinion. It's a crutch for people who don't want to use torches and light sources. Drift globes, torches, the light cantrip, the dancing
lights.
lights. Oh, dude, yeah, all these things are things that people need to have access to and are in the game in order to enhance the visual aspect of the game. Humans have this built-in inherent weakness of lack of dark vision that I think more people need to play into. So I like humans as my favorite race. My least favorite race, changelings.
Cause a lot of
I
problems.
have a very I have a controversial opinion about changelings, and you guys can agree with me or disagree with me. The only reason to play a changeling is because you want to break the game.
Hmm.
The only reason you're playing a changeling is because you want to deceive people in your party. I have only had ever in 40 years one player who has played a changeling who never deceived their party. One. And the only reason they didn't is because they forgot they were a changeling. They played for a year and a half, and after session 4, they forgot they were a changeling and just stayed in the one elvish form for the entire campaign.
It'd be
I
a what is it?
That player I loved.
Mastermind rogue or an inquisitive rogue? I forget which one, but a changeling like that is just disgusting.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. Hey, look, I'm going to know everything. I'm going to hide everywhere. I'm just going to get all the lore. And why bother having the rest of the party around? Because I get to do everything I want and go anywhere I want and be anyone I want. It's boring. Why are we doing it? Don't. Don't ruin the game for your own fun. If your fun consists of ruining the fun for others, don't do it. Play an engaging character that has weaknesses. Changelings are not able to shift into winged figures. That's one that's out there. It's not alter self. It's not metamorphosis. It's you did disguise self on yourself perfectly. That's it. That's all it is.
Hmm.
But by doing so perfectly, you can literally walk into a room, be like, oh, that's the captain of the guard. I perfectly mimic them. And now you walk into the guard shack. Level 1, first adventure, walk up to the guard tower, talk to the captain, talk to the guard, say, I'm the captain of the guard, because you saw the captain of the guard walk down the street earlier. You walk into the guard shack, pick up all the weapons you want, walk out. I'm the captain of the guard. Thank you. You leave. You go sell it all. You win the game.
Right.
That's it.
Just go impersonate the
It's
jeweler.
boring. Right. Impersonate the jeweler, impersonate the security guard, impersonate the tax collector, the mayor, whoever you want. Impersonate the BBEG.
Uh,
It's boring.
J Doodle has a fun one though. What if your
What's
changelings
that?
have to roll a D100 on shape changing accuracy?
Uh, it's not in the rules. Would it be cool? Potentially. Like, I can see that balancing it out a bit more, but still, the only reason to do it is if you're trying to get something over on someone.
Hmm.
Every changeling player that I've ever been around, except for the one, tries to deceive their party and mess up the fun for someone else. They try to be Mystique from X-Men, and I would say more than three quarters of the time, they end up trying to do the romantic scene from X-Men where she goes into the tent with Logan and tries to be all the different women.
Hmm.
Like, it's a thing. So, yeah, that's my thing. I don't like changelings in general. I like gnolls. I like Dragonborn, even with my messed up lore in Toivoa for them, where they're the creations. Warforged are more interesting. Elves are more interesting. Dwarves, halflings. You know,
There are
there's
not
so
enough
many
null
cool races out
characters.
there. There's not. I'd love to see more Eric Kokra. We have a Gabok in one of my games,
Yeah, someone was
like
talking about it earlier.
from Humblewood. Yeah, named Twicky. He's a chicken. Great character. Absolutely a delight to have. Joe's an amazing player, for the record. I love having Joe at my games. But having these different races out there, don't lock yourself into what you're comfortable with. Diversify, try a new race, try a new species, try a new class. Mix it up. If you're doing a one shot, especially if you're doing a one shot, don't do something comfortable in a one shot. Please
Yeah, that's where you go and try things out.
expand your horizons. Right. Expand your horizons, try something new. That's what one shots are for. Go explore one shot. Be like, hey, look, I'm going to do a random die roll on the race table. There's what, 90 races now, 90 species. Roll 1d90 and go for it. That's the way I like seeing people try one shot stuff. It's great.
See, we got going down this list. Do you have a favorite PC you accidentally created an NPC villain? How and why? So this makes me think of like the Nemesis system from the Lord of the Rings game.
Do I have a favorite? Repeat the question again, just so I get it followed.
Do you have a favorite PC who accidentally
Mhm.
created an NPC villain? How and why?
Ooh. Oh, yeah. I had a guy who honestly is no longer in my games and not welcome back, but he created a backstory character called the Mustachioed Wizard, right?
Like it already?
Silly, right?
Hmm.
He was an elemental. He was playing a Earth Genasi flavored as a small rock creature. Okay. His lore was that he was the familiar of this wizard and escaped. And the idea was he's going to go and live his life free from the mustachioed wizard. And he had a phobia of anyone who had a mustache or facial hair. Great, great immersive character, right?
Yep.
You're like, awesome, great. Well, the mustachioed wizard needed to be created in the world. So I'm like, okay, I got to create this character. Where's he from? And I asked the player character, and the player character was like, point at the map. I'm like, all right, here. The mustachioed wizard's from there. All right, what's his lore? All of a sudden, this is a major character in the world. And he's like, he's a member of the council and government. He's involved with this type of spell magic, etc. The Mustachio Wizard became the BBEG for another player character because of the lore from the first player character. The first player character hasn't played my games in 3 years. The other player character, known as Tyronius Evilite, had the BBEG of Rafage, the Mustachioed Wizard. And Rafage is still out there. They never defeated him. He's working to discredit Rafage because Rafage created Tyronius, who is a dragonborn, who has this necromantic lore, and Rafage has stuck him with the bag for an experiment that caused the problems with another player character called Deuce Strom. So all of this lore that combines with multiple player characters, multiple campaigns, was created by one little elemental player who's like, I want to play familiar, and the bad guy is my boss, the mustachioed wizard. All of a sudden, it creates all this lore for this character, and it's just a guy with a mustache.
Yeah.
It's
There was
you
nothing else
start
there.
with a guy with a mustache, right? There's nothing there to start with, but all of a sudden, it leads into one thing, then the next. It's amazing.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, this was back to our dark vision talk. But do you think the players rely on dark vision because torches and other light sources can be weaponized against players in stealth scenarios?
Yes, I think that players are too reliant on dark vision because they try to believe they are stealthy when they're not. Everyone's like, oh, we're going to play stealth characters. We've got dark vision, but we're wearing plate armor, and our stealth score is a +0 or with disadvantage. You're not playing stealth characters. If you're not playing stealth characters, you don't need the dark vision because you're not being sneaky. The light source only sheds light from 20 feet with 20 feet dim, right?
Hmm.
So why are you doing the stealth character if you're not doing a stealth character? Let the Gloomstalkers have their moment. Great. It's wonderful. If you're not doing it, don't do it. Embrace the torches, embrace the fire, embrace the, hey, look, I'm the trap springer. I'm going to go in and I'm going to alert everybody that I'm here. Have fun with it. Not everyone's playing sneaky, and very few groups. ever play Smart Sneaky. I've had, gosh, trying to think of a group that plays Smart Sneaky. And I think I've had one group that played Smart Sneaky and they played it for like 3 sessions because it's boring. Why is it boring? Because you're not engaging with the lore, you're not engaging with the monsters, you're not engaging in the story. All you're doing is taking a tour of the map.
Yeah, that's fair
That's
enough.
it. Stealth is cool in concept, but if you go and read books like the Bourne Supremacy and the Bourne trilogy, even Jason Bourne, who is one of the sneakiest people out there in literature, he goes and engages. You want to have that engagement with the system, otherwise you're missing out on lore. We develop a ton of story for you guys. Engage with it.
Yeah, stealth is optional. Pull out rocket launcher.
I like the comic that's out there, the meme that says I like heavy stealth.
Yeah.
Where the guy's in plate
Vault, vault,
armor,
vault.
it's it's still stealthy if there's no survivors.
If no one raises an alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I like it.
Mm. Plus, I
Let's
get
see.
all the lore.
Yeah, you get the best of both worlds. You get your combat, your stealth, your
Mm-hmm.
lore.
Mm-hmm. But Dark Vision's a crutch. I would prefer people use light sources, distant light sources. If you want to stay hidden, put a light over there. Use dancing lights. Use distant torches. Throw a torch. You're not illuminated, but you can see what's over there. It's great.
So I'm looking back at the questions that I had.
And to GMs, not all NPCs have dark vision.
No. Oh, actually, one thing that I've learned, just a lesson. GMs, and I'm sure Eric knows this already. Don't pull your punches.
Oh
I
no.
I'm pretty. I was pretty bad for a long time about pulling punches. There's one big thing in our Goblin campaign that I wish I would have done completely different, and we're like 30 some sessions past it. And I really wish I had just gone with it, just sent them all to the Astral Sea, and just had a good time with it. Because they did the old two extra dimensional items inside each other. And I wish I had
Mm-hmm.
just gone with it and pulled the punches. It's not that we're not having a good time now, but I think the
Mm-hmm.
hijinks that they could have gotten up with in some of the stories we could tell in the other way, they could have been spell jamming goblins or something else.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And announce when you're not pulling your punch.
mhm.
Oh, be like, hey guys, I could nerf this encounter, but I'm not going to. Here we go.
Y'all screwed up.
Uh, Last night, Saturday night in the Rift Wardens, we had a wild magic surge happen again on that D10,000 table, and the wild magic surge was the caster's ears burn off.
Nice.
Okay, and I'm like, okay, well, you're going to lose your ears and you're going to be permanently deafened until they can get this fixed. And the player's like, all right, let's do it. I just sent him the message. Be like, here we go. We're going to do this. One of the other players is like, I can see the fire on the ears. I can see what's going on. I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration, which cures the deafened condition by not pulling the punch on my end and being like, your ears are burned off. You're going to be deafened. And just sending that in a private message, it allowed that moment to feel more real,
Hmm.
being meaner to the character, allowed this other character, Cherry, to come in and look like an amazing hero to come in and heal the deafened condition off this character who now has runic marks on the side of her head where she can now listen in spite of not having ears.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool. And you do
Ah,
it by
crap.
not nerfing it.
We got hit with the ads right towards the end of that, so we'll have you retell that. This was perfect timing too.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Yeah. Okay.
Ugh.
While we're on break, we have a little bit of time left here. Does your
Sure.
your bad guy up this way? Does he have like a lair base or anything, or is this just where battle's happening, not necessarily like a lived-in spot, so to say?
He's not going to be living here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, this is a mining pit
Okay,
essentially.
awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
hopefully it's a
that's kind of what we're going for.
good start for you.
It's definitely a good start. I'm loving it.
Excellent. I don't think I'll be able to finish it all, but hopefully it's got a
I
good
know.
start for you to start with.
I gave you a challenge.
I was up for it, man. I love shit like this, and I don't.
I'm glad.
Yeah, it's something that I probably wouldn't have built for myself anytime soon. So
Right.
this is fun to mess with.
But if you think about the different levels here, you're talking athletics checks and challenges, etc.
Yep.
All right, we got people here.
All right.
All right. Yeah, this is looking pretty. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can go back into your.
So yeah, the character's ears got burned away, and it allowed Cherry to come in, do lesser restoration, remove the deafened condition, and we leaned into it. And by being mean to the one character, not pulling the punches, it allowed other characters to shine, and now enhanced this character to have runes on the side of her head where she listens through the magical runes. And it builds the whole coolness factor for everybody by just being like, hey, look, not only did this horrible thing happen, you guys overcame it by story and by mechanics and knowing your characters and engaging in the RP, which is what you want. You want that emotional content of, oh crap, my character's gonna have this major problem. How do we get over it? And go through it. Let them suffer. Let them suffer. You want that emotional content. That's what we shoot for.
Yeah, this is my quote for you now. Let them suffer. Also a great band.
Yeah, let them suffer. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a
Remember, the dice are not your friends. If I'm making you roll dice, it's not because you're going to succeed. No, 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 no. If you're going to succeed, I'll just let you. Yeah, you can do that. No problem. Can I jump over this gap? Yep, no sweat. Can I rob the person? Sure. If I ask for a die roll, it's to see if you fail.
That's the part that we wanna play with there.
Exactly.
So what was the best? Actually, this kind of goes in with what was
Sure.
just said. But what was the best player given disadvantage to the character that they decided to keep around for long term that you've seen?
For long term, I have a player by the name of Ray. Hi, Ray, if you're listening, um, who plays in two of my campaigns. She plays on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. She has been playing a character by the name of Tati on Wednesday nights for coming on 4 years now. This campaign just did episode 193.
Oh,
Okay, 193 weeks, right?
awesome.
Right? And this is the level 20 group. At level 1, she implemented during character creation in session 0, she's like, I want to do something that the rest of the group is going to hate, so I'm not going to impose it on anybody else. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do, Ray? My character, if she falls unconscious, will lose a level.
Wow.
At level 1, she went to level 0 because she fell unconscious. She was level 0 for 2 months because they couldn't get her restored. She developed lore where she can go to a temple, if she can get to the temple of her god, and get restored by the priests of that temple. She's level 20. There have been fights where she has fallen unconscious 4 times.
Oof.
When you lose 4 levels in a single combat, holy crap, all of a sudden the rest of the party's like, don't let her fall unconscious anymore. Why? She's the healer.
Mm.
When she falls unconscious, she loses spell slots and knowledge of spells. She can't cast Mass Healing Word anymore. She can't do a guaranteed divine intervention anymore.
So did your players have
She
fun with
can't
that,
do this stuff.
or did they?
Oh, they love it.
Okay, awesome.
Because it's this engaging, we have to protect this character. It's this character is more vulnerable than everybody else. She loves it because she likes hard mode. Like I'm going to play hard mode. That's what she does. And by doing that, she's more engaged and more cautious about the tactics of the situation. She understands she needs to be more careful. more aware of what's going on. She sends me more messages of, I'm checking around me. Do I see anything in the water? Do I see this? Do I see that? She's more engaged by having this hard mode placed upon her by herself that she volunteered for. Having that downside, which is based off of the 3.5 Shatter Kai, by the way, which
Hmm.
did lose a level if they fell unconscious. She's playing a 5th edition Shatter Kai. Is like, I like that. We're going to do this here. I'm like, okay, if you're going to self-impose this massive disadvantage of I fall unconscious, I lose a level, I'm going to embrace it and let them do that because it just builds story and it builds a challenge and the drama of Tati fell unconscious, we're all screwed. My tanks didn't do a good enough job, and now the tanks are paying more attention to the healer instead of just being rush happy and murder hobos. They're paying attention to, hey, look, we have consequences if Tati falls unconscious. We're not going to live, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I like that.
that's the highest level one so far is Tati Rendaja falls unconscious, she loses a level. And Ray is an absolute star for playing that kind of character as well she does.
Yeah, that would be a tough one to play and like stick with, especially after you start losing levels a few times. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
the fortitude to stick it out and play with it.
and at level 20 where we're talking attacks that hit you for all your health, yeah, it's not easy.
And I'll ask this one too because I know Blues put this one in
Sure.
a couple times. And I have it written down, Blue. I didn't forget it. Everyone has their own opinion of this, but it does cross with people's opinions. Your feelings on dumb characters and lawful good characters.
Dumb characters can be fun if they're played well. Unintelligent doesn't have to be stupid. Um, you don't have to be absolutely moronic and chaotic just because you're unintelligent. There's a lot of people in the world, in real life, who are not intelligent. They can't pass SATs, they can't pass a test, but they have street smarts. They understand what's in a situation, they understand what's going on.
This is my all-time favorite of wisdom versus intelligence.
Exactly. You can have people who are charismatic who are idiots. You can have people who are personable and strong and follow orders who are idiots and morons and have low intelligence. You may not know anything about the world, but you understand that guy does and he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to follow orders. Great. That's fine. And that can be an absolutely fun character. One of the classic examples of this is Grog Stromjaw from Critical Role. Amazing, stupid character. Does he do some dumb things sometimes when unattended? Yeah, deck of many things, right? Which I loved as a story point. I had my deck of many things right over there. But having a stupid character who doesn't have knowledge doesn't mean that you're going to play dumb all the time. Maybe you're dumb on facts, knowledge, and reason, but you're good in combat and good in a fight and understand what a team is. You don't have to play absolutely stupid. If you're playing a character who has a intelligence score so low that you can't read, you're going to start acting primally, and even animals work smart together. You can have an intelligence of neg 4 and still work as a team. So I encourage you to, if you're playing a dumb character, realize that there's more to it than just I'm going to do the dumb decision. That's not playing a dumb character. That's playing a mean character that's not playing as part of the group. Playing a dumb character, you can play as part of a team while still being ignorant. So that's my encouragement there. Now, lawful stupid like a paladin, where you're given rules and you have to follow the specific set of rules. I think that there are times and places for that. And I think that that is one of the most interesting things to explore as a player is where is that line for that character? And as a GM, you need to create content for those players who are playing the lawful paladins, the lawful good. I'm going to be the good paladin. Cool. You can be the good paladin. Where is that line? What line is it that the paladin won't cross? And I'm going to push that line all the way until your favorite NPC is doing the thing that you can't handle. That's what I want to find. It's not, oh, this is my favorite NPC. We can't attack them.
Yeah,
If your favorite NPC sits there and poisons the librarian, well, I'm not going to do anything about it. Why? Well, it's going to piss off my party. That's not a good act. You lose your powers, right? If you're going to play smart, lawful good, you have to play smart, lawful good. If you're playing lawful stupid and you're following the law, you're going to get in trouble with your party and the rest of society because that's not real. It's not good storytelling. It's not interesting. You want to have an interesting reason why you're doing what you're doing. So if you're doing lawful stupid, you need to do it in a way that makes sense, and you need to know where the line is for that character, or the GM needs to push you until you find it.
okay.
And that's the good drama. We want to find out where the paladin's like, no more. My oath is over because I'm not willing to put up with X. I love those moments. I love the redemption storylines for paladins who are like, I'm willing to break my oath because this is wrong. That's what I want.
Yeah, you want to see, like you said, exactly how far they're willing to go to keep with their thing,
Mm-hmm.
or what they're. Um, there's an interesting thing with a paladin player in a game I'm actually playing in that came up is what was he willing to say is okay to just kill when you're going through a dungeon? You have sentient beings in there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
aren't necessarily bad or evil or anything. They're just doing what they've always done because they're in a little self-contained ecosystem, and this is just how they've done things. But you, as an outsider, come in and you look at it as bad. Is that okay for your paladin? Or is it okay that the rest of your party is going out and slaughtering things? I'm playing a little paranormal investigator kind of goblin in there. Are
Mm-hmm.
you cool with me playing with ghosts and trying to figure out ghosts and undead things, which is completely anathema to your whole being? We've had some fun
Yeah.
moments in there, kind of going back and forth.
And if the players are cool with it, it can be amazing RP. Just clear it with the players beforehand of, hey, look, I'm going to try to do some stuff that's going to piss off your character. I'm not trying to ruin your fun. If your character attacks mine because I'm doing something stupid, go for it. I'm all right with it.
Hmm.
Like, if you're going to F around and find out, F around and find out, but get clearance with the player so that they're not feeling horrible about doing party attacks.
Yeah. And then we'll probably, I told you 10 o'clock is when we'd wrap up. So,
Yay.
we've got probably enough time for one more question, which will
Sure.
be Alina's here. So I think we've gotten all of them plus some. So, what's the most passionate RP moment that almost or did get you feeling what the player character felt?
Ooh. The most passionate moment where I got someone feeling about it, I think
That got you
recently
feeling
got me feeling
what
it.
the character felt? Yeah.
Oh man. I'm trying to think recently. Actually, no, I know what it is. Long ago, I was playing, um, uh, long ago, I was playing in a campaign and I had a character who knocked another character out of the way in order to absorb a hit. And accidentally, not realizing the situation completely, knocked her into the way of a fiend and got her killed instead of self sacrifice. And this was a character that had been around for a couple decades. And like there were no real risks at the moment, and the character stuck their nose where it didn't belong, and it got this multi-decade character killed, dead, one-shotted, disintegrated, turned to ash, done. And that moment stuck with me because I'm like, we're going to do this, and here's the dangers. I had it all written down. Here's where the breath's going to be. Here's what's going to happen on the monster's turn. And the horrible feeling that I had for both players, the guy who knocked the person into the breath and the person who just lost their multi-year character, I felt horrible for both of them. And I'm like, this is what the story is saying. This is what has to happen. And I felt bad for them. I felt horrible for them. Is it a moment that they remember even today, 20 years later? Yeah, they all remember it. Was it critical to the character and changed the story? Yeah. It was the most memorable moment of that entire campaign. I can't remember much of anything else in the campaign except for that moment. And it made me feel horrible both as a GM, as a storyteller, as a participant at the game. But at the same time, it was also the best moment and most emotionally impactful moment in the entire multi-year game. And that's why I encourage you guys, don't pull your punches. Embrace it. Talk to your players. Do the aftercare in that kind of situation. Talk about it. Spend time. Don't ditch at the end of the session. Don't run away from the emotions. Stick with your friends. Stick with the people. Talk about what's going on. We want the emotional content. You're not supposed to run away from it. You need to embrace it and realize that that is the point. If you have these emotional moments, don't run away from them. Embrace it. Talk to your players. Talk to your GM. Search for them. You want that emotional content. That's what drives the story and the memories. The moment that you lose that and you run away and you're like, this was a hard thing, we're not going to worry about it, and we're going to ignore that it happened, you just ruined the game for yourself. And I'm really sorry if that has happened to you. The way you fix that is you be like, hey, look, I'm going to stick around and we're going to talk about the moment and we're going to talk about what happened and we're going to express ourselves. We're going to express how we feel, how our characters feel. You need to do that in order to have the best story. So it was impactful. It's a thing that I'll probably live with for the rest of my life as far as emotional content. And I know that the three players who were involved in that probably remember it very, very well. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a that's actually a really like good note to go out on too. It's like a pretty big chunk of advice. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's a ton of lore, a ton of
Hmm.
advice from a long time of DMing and experience and stuff. So thank you a ton for coming on and
Of
sharing it with
course.
us. This is
Of
fun.
course.
I had fun talking to you. Had fun doing this map up. Um,
I'm glad.
yeah, this is a map for Eric. He'll be using this. You can do whatever you want with this, Eric. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it's
There's
all
some modifications I'll do, but you may see this in the future.
excellent. I'll
Yep.
look forward to seeing it.
Toss
Um,
it my way. I'd love to get into it.
Absolutely. Also, you had something that you wanted to, an item that you wanted to promote. So if you want to drop a
Oh,
link to
yeah.
it, throw it in chat because it's super cool.
Yeah, if you
Definitely.
guys have not checked this out, we make so go on SkyMap decoders. These have 42 codes for you guys to use in your games. They're active decoders that we make here in house at GM Eric headquarters. These have 42 codes for you guys to use in your games in order to make cool props. They rotate. They're made out of ABS plastic. We make these in house. We design them ourselves. You can't get these anywhere else. They're absolutely amazing. We spent over a year prototyping and testing them, and these are going to be coming out in some of our new Kickstarter stuff. Probably in the next year or two, We're going to be including these as part of the Kickstarter packages for the Dark Frost campaign setting that we're doing. So check these out. They're really, really neat. These are over at gmeric.com, right on the front page. They're really, really cool. If you've not gotten one for your online or in-person game, check them out. They have little symbols for the various codes, and the outer ring rotates to change the symbol, and then the inner ring rotates for the various letters and punctuation marks
Yeah,
and
one
numbers.
second. I'm gonna make you bigger here so you can show that off.
Sure.
It's a really cool thing.
Yep. So we have the on the outer. Let's zoom out here a little bit. So on the outer ring, zoom out a little bit. On the outer ring here, we have various symbols, and then that rotates around. And then on the inner ring, we also have numbers and punctuation. And this all moves smoothly, and it's all ABS plastic, and it's only 3 millimeters thick.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that a lot.
So we make these, and these are very durable. You can throw them, you can drop them. They don't break easily at all. We've been really diligent on them. They're really comfortable. We had other versions that sucked. Like seriously, we made them. We made them out of wood. We made them out of. We tried to make one out of glass, and we were cutting ourselves, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Prototyping this kind of thing takes a lot of time, but check them out over at gmeric.com. Right on the front page. These are really cool.
Super cool. And anything else? Actually, I'm gonna put you on the spot and see how good your memory is.
Yeah.
When do all of your campaigns take place?
Ooh, my campaigns. The start of my week happens on Friday morning.
Mhm.
That happens at 11 o'clock Central Time. That's the Tovoan Sea Dogs. My new Friday night campaign starts this coming week. We're going to be doing a historical one-shot, an Origins one-shot to explain some of the lore. And the actual campaign session 1 is the following week. So if you're interested in a brand new campaign for GMeric, come hang out on Friday nights at 7 p.m. We do a lot of stuff there. That's a really cool group. They just completed their previous campaign, and all the players are returning for that. That's at 7 p.m. Central Time. Saturday morning, we have the Us Against the Gods group, who are working to purge a shadowy enclave in the Fey realms. They meet at 10 o'clock Central Time. My Rift Wardens, who are teleporting through multiple planes of existence and doing a horror campaign, they meet at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Saturday evenings. Sunday morning, I have the Beneath Fallen Skies group. They meet at 10 a.m. They're working on an effort to raise a sky island from the ground in order to reestablish a new kingdom of neutrality in Toivoa. The Underwatch are meeting on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Those guys are currently adventuring in a massive dungeon delve based off of the old adventure, The World's Largest Dungeon. They're currently exploring down there looking for a series of adventurers who have gone missing. They found one of the 4 and are looking for the rest. It's highly modified. If you're interested in that kind of dungeon crawl with lore added, come hang out for the Underwatch. Tuesday night, we have the Wandering Too Far group, whose initials are WTF, and they are currently working, right? They are currently working with an individual by the name of Moon Everglow in order to stop the bleeding of light as someone is trying to siphon light from the plane that they're on. They have survived a shipwreck and are now exploring and trying to find the way to stop this bleeding light. And then on Wednesday nights, we have the Toivoan Trainwreck. On Tuesday nights, it's at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. On Wednesday nights, it's the Toivoan Trainwreck. They meet at 8 p.m. Central Time. They're the level 20 group that's been running for almost 4 years, which is crazy. We have 7 players in that campaign. They're all level 20. And they're currently working on foiling the plots of a necromantic witch by the name of Pitney Bones, who they've been working against since session 1 and is focused on drugs, illusions, and conjurations. They're looking to dismantle her entire network and spent their entire last session trying to recruit a crew for their ship, which should be super easy at level 20, but instead they spent 11 gold, teleported themselves all around the world, and then ended their session without getting a crew. So, how to create content for level 20s? You let them play the game, and they
Right.
just do their thing.
Let them run.
Yep. But yeah, check me out over at gmerk.com. Check out the Discord. The link's over at gmerk.com as well. We have a tavern in there. We've got a clip contest going on for our sessions where we give away things at the end of the month. It's just tossing a clip in the timestamp. In the clip contest channel, you'd be entered for a drawing. We give away really cool merch. Last month was a hoodie based off of the Zal Zareth raid we did. We did a raid on December 28th with 14
Oh,
players, 1 GM. It
that's
was a
what I
ton of
forgot to
fun.
ask you about. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah, the 14 player raid. That I saw how many players
Yeah,
you
the
had. I'm
14
like,
player raid was
holy crap.
yeah, we did 14 players ranging from level 2 to level 20, and nobody died. Um, because they managed to stop the ritual that was going to summon the BBEG for the adventure. They managed to stop the ritual. And then after the session ended, we theory crafted what would happen if the ritual had completed. And they realized that it would have been a TPK in 2 rounds.
Nice.
So it was going to be brutal, and they managed to pull it off. So we have new t-shirts and stuff over at gmerk.com. Go check it out.
How did a 14-person party go?
Really fast. Our turn length, we we do, like I said, we do a lot of metrics. We did in 5 hours. We did 11 rounds across 14 players, which comes out to about a 55-second turn per
Nice.
person. So we were getting through all 14 people every 13 minutes, 14 minutes, with all the NPCs included into that. So you only had about a 15-minute break between turns. And if you came back and did not know what you were doing, we would move forward and you'd figure it out and we'd come back to you.
Yeah.
So we blasted through that. The players were amazing and they worked really well as a team. They solved the problems of having Griffin riders attacking them from above, and then they got into the cave and had to deal with a basically a tower defense situation where they had to keep creatures from moving crystals in away from a force field. So it was really cool.
Okay. That's awesome. But one last time, thank you for coming out, Eric. And
Of
Lena, yeah,
course.
thank you for throwing some questions in. And I saw it. She's your mod, right, on your channel?
Yes.
Yep.
Elena's my mod. Yep.
Yep. She always welcomes everybody and says hi. And I think she had some of that going on tonight too, where she was welcoming people and helping out that
If
way.
you've not if you've not come out and hang out in my channel, Elena Four Dragons on my channel all the time. She also streams on Thursday afternoons. So shout out to her.
Oh, nice.
If you've not checked her out, her stuff, she does art and she plays Deltarune and Undertale. She does a variety of games and art stuff. So go check her out. She's really cool and
Excellent.
very engaging as a streamer.
Good to hear. Yeah, I'll drop a follow then too. There you go. Just shout out for her. Thank you. Um,
Cool.
But yeah, well, we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go raid gaming related. Our buddies that I haven't been able to raid them in a good long while because we haven't done much on Sundays when they switched over. So let me go pull their thing up real fast. We'll go say hi to them. They run
Cool.
D&D every Sunday night. They've got a good long campaign going on too. So just we're gonna start the raid
Awesome.
there, and then yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. Um, and chilling with us. And yeah, anytime you
We'll have to do
wanna
it again sometime. Yeah.
talk shop or whatever, man, this was a blast.
I'm glad.
Cool. All right. You guys have a good night. Say hi to gaming related Monk and his crew, and we'll see you next time.
Take care,
Adios.
everybody. Be safe.